The demon emperor was so ruthless? The demon emperor was so ruthless? Hanju showed a frown. Upon hearing Di Taibai's words, his first reaction was to curse the demon emperor to death. The demon emperor had a 6-star hatred towards him. He wouldn't rest until Hanju was dead. The demon court would definitely target him once the heavenly court was destroyed. Yeah, there was a need to make arrangements. Hanju was thinking for everyone. After chatting with Di Taibai for a while, he put down the heavenly Dao token. You chose not to ascend for the time being, and obtained a supreme treasure. Congratulations on obtaining the 9 elements 10,000 life sword. 9 elements 10,000 life sword. Emperor Dao supreme treasure. A Khanate sword condensed from the vitality of heaven and earth. Sword chi is endless and inexhaustible. It is extremely powerful. Looking at the 3 lines of words in front of him, Hanju smiled in satisfaction. Now that he had the primordial judgment sword, the God Slayer sword, the heaven and earth primordial sword, and the 9 elements 10,000 life sword, he should be able to use the heavenly sword Dao's immortal slaying sword formation. The immortal slaying sword formation formed by 4 powerful Dharma treasures would definitely have terrifying lethality. Hanju thought silently. Recently, the cultivation of the black hell chicken had advanced by leaps and bounds. It was probably related to the black hell demon lord. Should he try to rope him in? This fellow was from the demon court after all. It wasn't right for him to stay for so long. Hanju first successfully made the 9 elements 10,000 life sword recognize him before starting the simulation trial against the black hell demon lord. With the 4th level of the heavenly sword Dao, the immortal slaying sword formation, Hanju could finally kill him. However, it required time to gather the sword formation. He couldn't insta-kill the black hell demon lord. This wasn't good. If he couldn't kill him instantly, he couldn't attack easily. Hanju started to worry. Although the immortal world was chaotic, the mortal world was temporarily unaffected. Follow current novel on Light Novel World. Calm 20 years passed. Hanju's cultivation improved greatly. In the simulation trial, his speed at using the immortal slaying sword formation had also increased greatly. The time it took for him to kill the black hell demon lord had also decreased greatly. He decided to confront him. It was worth mentioning that the current black hell demon lord had already become a deacon of the Jade Pure Sacred Sect. At that moment, he was teaching the black hell chicken cultivation in his cave abode. Let's chat in the void. Hanju's voice floated into the black hell demon lord's ears. The black hell demon lord frowned slightly and thought, he finally can't take it anymore. He had always been wary of the mysterious cultivator from the Cultivate Diligently Become Immortal mountain. It was because he couldn't capture Hanju's aura or see the true situation in the Cultivate Diligently Become Immortal mountain. What did that mean? This meant that Hanju was very likely stronger than him. The black hell demon lord took a deep breath and stood up. I'll go out for a while. The black hell chicken didn't think too much and focused on cultivating. In the void, as the black hell demon lord appeared and looked at Hanju, shock flashed across his eyes. What a handsome man! Even though he had been in the immortal world for millions of years, he had never seen a man more handsome than Hanju. His appearance and temperament would shock both men and women. His enemies could hate him and detest him, but they would not find him ugly. What do you want? Hanju stared at him and asked. For some reason, the black hell demon lord felt inexplicably uneasy being stared at by him. He was a rank 5 immortal emperor. The black hell demon lord said, the chicken under you is related to me. What else? The demon emperor asked me to avenge the golden rock demon lord. Updated at Light Novel World. Then why aren't you attacking? Hanju didn't expect the other party to be so honest. The black hell demon lord said helplessly, the calamity is coming. I don't want to become enemies with a powerful expert, so I want to handle this perfunctorily. Hanju narrowed his eyes and said, how about joining my hidden sect? The hidden sect doesn't want to enter the calamity. We can take care of each other. The black hell demon lord fell silent. Hanju stared at him, ready to attack at any time. If this fellow refused and still wanted to stay here, Hanju could only kill him. He couldn't leave any hidden danger around him. The black hell demon lord frowned. What can I obtain by joining the hidden sect? Your enemy is my enemy. It's not enough to move me. Don't worry. I'll stay in the Jade Pure Sacred Sect and won't harm anyone. I'll leave when the immeasurable calamity is over. Hanju smiled. Wait for the immeasurable calamity to pass? Damn it. Do you think you're funny? An immeasurable calamity might last for tens of thousands of years. Even if he paid rent, it would be a huge sum of money. Hanju asked, What's your relationship with the Black Hell Chicken? Upon mentioning the chicken, the Black Hell Demon Lord smiled helplessly and said, That kid is. The primordial judgment sword suddenly appeared in Hanju's hand, and he suddenly slashed with it. Sword pierces heaven. The Black Hell Demon Lord's expression changed drastically. He subconsciously raised his hand to block, but he was still sent flying by the sword chi. Hanju quickly took out the God-Slayer sword, Heaven and Earth Primordial Sword, and 9 Elements 10,000 Life Sword. The 4 swords flew up together and began to gather the immortal slaying sword formation. The Black Hell Demon Lord stabilized himself and roared, What do you want? Hanju couldn't be bothered to say more. He used his hand as a sword and used the 3 pure world cleansing 9 heavens. 9 sword chi seas quickly appeared, condensing into billions of sword shadows that charged at the other party. The source of this chapter is Light Novel World. The Black Hell Demon Lord took out a long saber that looked like a fong. He pointed his left hand at the blade, and a demonic aura surged into it. As he waved his saber in all directions, the terrifying demonic aura transformed into countless demons and ghosts, roaring as they attacked the sword shadow torrent of 3 pure world cleansing. The battle between the 2 immortal emperors was like a war between 2 races. As expected, he has ill intentions. Hanju cursed silently. This fellow didn't escape, and chose to fight with him. It was obvious that he wanted to target him. The Black Hell Demon Lord has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points. 3 stars. Seeing a line of words appear in front of him, Hanju's interest soared. He immediately cast the Great Traversal Divine Shadow 9 times, and joined the sword shadows to kill the other party. The Black Hell Demon Lord tried his best to block, but Hanju's dermic powers were too powerful and boundless. The Black Hell Demon Lord leaped, and 1,000-foot-long black wings spread out from his back. Flames burned. He raised his saber and black flames swept up, turning into a terrifying black rain that descended on Hanju. The sword shadows of the 3 pure world cleansing were neutralized by the black rain, and demonic chi mist filled the vast void. At this moment, Hanju's immortal slaying sword formation was about to form. The Black Hell Demon Lord also noticed the sword formation. He was secretly shocked. What formation is that? The Black Hell Demon Lord frowned, and suddenly had the intention to retreat. However, Hanju's sudden attack infuriated him. He was a rank 5 immortal emperor, yet the other party didn't give him face. Try again. The Black Hell Demon Lord made up his mind. He wanted to see how strong Hanju was. Hanju suddenly appeared behind him, and waved his right hand, causing the 5 elements divine light to shoot out. The Black Hell Demon Lord instinctively brandished his saber to block, but with a brush of the 5 elements divine light, the saber brushed away. He didn't even have time to react. Impossible. Shocked, the Black Hell Demon Lord immediately dodged. Then countless black raindrops shot towards Hanju. At this moment, Hanju's 4 swords suddenly pulled away. Terrifying killing intent filled the void, and locked onto the Black Hell Demon Lord. The Black Hell Demon Lord looked up in horror and shouted, Immortal slaying sword formation? How is that possible? Hanju raised his eyebrows. This guy is quite knowledgeable. Content is taken from Light Novel World. Then, you'll die even more thoroughly. After the simulation trial, Hanju knew that the Black Hell Demon Lord couldn't withstand the immortal slaying sword formation at all. He would definitely die. Read at Wuxia World. EU. After the Black Hell Demon Lord recognized the immortal slaying sword formation, his first reaction was to escape. After the Black Hell Demon Lord recognized the immortal slaying sword formation, his first reaction was to escape. However, he was horrified to find that he couldn't escape this void. An invisible and powerful restriction sealed the surroundings. The Black Hell Demon Lord immediately charged at the God-Slayer sword. He could sense that this sword was the weakest. Perhaps it could become a breakthrough point. However, just as he was about to collide with the God-Slayer sword, a terrifying gust of wind blew over, causing the Black Hell Demon Lord to be in extreme pain. Even his essence soul trembled. He retreated subconsciously. Hanju curled his lips as he formed hand seals. Immortal slaying sword formation. Suppress. Boom! A baleful aura erupted from the sword formation and instantly drowned the Black Hell Demon Lord. The Black Hell Demon Lord let out a shrill cry as if he was in the netherworld. At the Jade Pure Sacred Sect. In the midst of cultivating, the Black Hell Chicken suddenly opened its eyes and muttered, "Strange? I think I heard something just now." It shook its head and continued cultivating. Facing the powerful immortal slaying sword formation, the Black Hell Demon Lord couldn't withstand it at all. His body was directly destroyed. Next was the soul. Hanju wanted to destroy his body and soul. "Wait. I admit defeat. Don't kill me," the Black Hell Demon Lord shouted in horror, his tone filled with despair. Hanju's heart softened when he thought of the Black Hell Chicken. Thus, he used the Six Paths soul absorption technique to suck the Black Hell Demon Lord's soul into his soul and imprisoned it in the primordial world. The so-called primordial world was a special space filled with countless stars in the depths of his soul. The battle ended. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. Updated at Light Novel World. He resolved a problem. He could finally cultivate in peace. Hanju returned to his cave abode. Dao Comprehension Sword asked curiously, "What did you do just now? Was there an enemy attack?" She was already at the loose immortal realm, and was not far from the Grand Unity Earth immortal realm. She could vaguely sense the existence of the void. Hanju replied, "Nothing." He didn't want to talk about the Black Hell Demon Lord. He closed his eyes and started cultivating. Several months later, without waiting for the Black Hell Demon Lord, the Black Hell Chicken returned to the Fusang tree to cultivate. Everyone was very interested in its recent developments, but it did not say anything. I obtained a huge fortuitous encounter. I want to secretly cultivate and surpass all of you," the Black Hell Chicken thought expectantly. Little did it know that its great opportunity was already gone. 20 years passed. Hanju had just finished cursing the Demon Emperor and Golden Rock Demon Lord when he placed his consciousness into the primordial world deep in his soul. The Black Hell Demon Lord's soul was imprisoned by the great Tao of life and death, and could not move. Sensing Hanju's divine sense staring at him, the Black Hell Demon Lord shouted in fear, "Don't kill me. I was really wrong." Hanju said calmly, "I've given you a chance. You can reject it, but you insist on staying in my reroll world. If it were you, would you allow other unfamiliar immortal emperors to stay in your territory?" The Black Hell Demon Lord smiled bitterly. "I really know my mistake. I'm willing to join the hidden sect." He had been terrified during the time he had been imprisoned. The nebulous primordial chaos contained in this primordial world constantly ate at his soul, making him suffer. "Really? But you still hate me, right?" Hanju snorted. The Black Hell Demon Lord shouted, "No. How is that possible?" Even so, his hatred did not decrease. This fellow's future was rather bleak. He wasn't as sensible as primordial chaos heavenly devil. "Let's wait and see. I won't kill you for the time being." With that, Hanju severed his divine sense. The Black Hell Demon Lord was a rank 5 immortal emperor, and could not be underestimated. Hanju wanted to deepen the Six Paths insignia, and completely control it. In the cave abode, Hanju opened his eyes. New chapters are published on Light Novel World. He took out the Heavenly Tao token and observed. The ranking of the reroll world had increased to 39th place. The highest cultivation in the mortal world had reached the late stage of the Grand Unity Earth immortal realm. In terms of the highest combat strength, it was actually not worthy of 39th place. However, there were many living beings in the reroll world. Almost one cultivator in the loose immortal realm, Mahayana realm, and Tribulation Transcendence realm was born every day. In the entire reroll world, the conflict was far inferior to before. Under the secret push of the white-robed Buddha, the entire world stirred up a cultivation frenzy. The increase in spirit qi and the spread of the Tao techniques of the Chan school meant that cultivators did not have to fight for cultivation resources everywhere. They could cultivate in peace. Not only that, But the threshold for cultivation had also decreased. Compared to when Hanju was born, the spirit chi in the reroll world had increased more than 100 times. Under such circumstances, even the most useless person could cultivate. The nascent soul realm was no longer considered the expert level. It was even a little weak. Hanju was very helpless when he learned of all this. There would be trouble in the future. Hanju took out the body of the victorious fighting Buddha and pondered. Tao Comprehension Sword looked at it with wide eyes. Sensing the terrifying aura emitted by this body, she was so frightened that she didn't dare to speak. It's a pity to waste such a powerful body, but if I give it to others, they might not be able to withstand it, Hanju thought silently. Should he refine this fellow's body into a reincarnation avatar? That was fine. However, Hanju had to wait until he reached the rank 5 Immortal Emperor realm to prevent any accidents. Immortal Emperors had too many methods. Even if the victorious fighting Buddha's soul had been destroyed, what if as time passed, this fellow developed a soul again? Hanju thought for a moment, and threw the body into the primordial world, sealing it with primordial chi and the great Tao of life and death. The Black Hell Demon Lord widened his eyes when he saw the distant victorious fighting Buddha. Victorious fighting Buddha? How is that possible? He was shocked. The name of the victorious fighting Buddha was like thunder in the immortal world. The Black Hell Demon Lord had once been defeated by him. He had been overjoyed when he heard that the victorious fighting Buddha had perished. Updated at Light Novel World. He didn't expect the victorious fighting Buddha to be here. Wait. It was a physical body without a soul. Could it be? The Black Hell Demon Lord thought of something, and his soul trembled. The Black Hell Demon Lord has a favorable impression of you. Current favorability. 5 stars. Hanju saw a line of words appear in front of him, and couldn't help but be baffled. Why did it suddenly become a 5-star favorability? He couldn't help but check the Black Hell Demon Lord's profile picture. Black Hell Demon Lord. Rank 5 Immortal Emperor. One of the demon lords of the demon court. He is from the ancient Black Hell Phoenix race. Because he learned that you killed the victorious fighting Buddha, he became very respectful towards you, and will no longer dare to resist you. Current favorability. 5 stars. Hanju was surprised. The victorious fighting Buddha had such an effect? Hanju didn't change his mind. He would let the Black Hell Demon Lord out after the 6 paths insignia deepened. Underworld. Above the yellow spring, a man in a raincoat stopped in midair and looked down at a tiny reef on the sea. It's here. He stopped here. The man in the raincoat extended his divine sense and swept it into the reef. Hidden Sect Island? He felt the aura of the heavenly puppet, which was identical to Hanju's. He immediately cupped his fists and said, Immortal Emperor Samsara, I was rash last time. This time, I'm willing to offer you what you want. Please don't abandon me. Not receiving an answer, he became even more nervous. Immortal Emperor Samsara, if you haven't obtained what I want, I can still wait. The man in the raincoat gritted his teeth. It was obvious that he was suffering greatly. Content is taken from Light Novel World. The heavenly puppet on the island opened its eyes. Hanju heard the raincoat man's words through it. Why did this fellow chase after him? Read at Wuxia World. EU. He treats me as Immortal Emperor Samsara. Now that he's offering me a treasure, if I refuse, will he become angry and become my enemy? He treats me as Immortal Emperor Samsara. Now that he's offering me a treasure, if I refuse, will he become angry and become my enemy? But if I accept it, will I offend Immortal Emperor Samsara? Hanju touched his chin and fell into deep thought. It was a question worth considering. Seeing that the person in the raincoat was unwilling to leave, Hanju sighed and could only go personally. His essence soul immediately jumped into the netherworld and used the somersault cloud to directly jump in front of Hidden Sect Island. Seeing Hanju's essence soul appear, the man in the raincoat was pleasantly surprised and hurriedly bowed. Hanju said, You can wait a little longer. I'll go find you when it's time. The man in the raincoat sighed. You've disappeared for so many years. I'm afraid that if I wait any longer, I won't be able to see you. Hanju was puzzled. Why did this fellow's attitude change 180 degrees? Previously he was very impolite. Now his tone had changed. Could it be that this fellow had encountered something in these years? Hanju asked. Why do you say that? The man in the raincoat didn't hide anything. I was suppressed by the king of hell, and was injected with boundless negative karma. After the immeasurable calamity is activated, I'll enter chi deviation and sink into the negative karma of the world. I'll never be able to make a comeback until my death. Speaking of this, the raincoat man couldn't help but sigh again. So tragic. Hanju raised his eyebrows. Was the king of hell so powerful? No wonder he felt vaguely uneasy when he passed by the netherworld. He couldn't use the king of hell and journey to the west as a reference for the one here. I can give you what you want directly. After I die, I only hope that you can complete what you promised me. The man in the raincoat said in a low voice. He raised his right hand, and a black lotus appeared in his palm. This black lotus was extremely strange. It had 36 petals, and was completely black. It emitted an ominous and strange aura. Hanju used his divine sense to probe the black lotus. In an instant, a terrifying force swallowed his divine sense, scaring him so much that he hurriedly severed the connection. The source of this chapter is Light Novel World. What was this? Hanju was shocked. In that instant, he felt that his essence soul would be devoured by the black lotus. The 36th grade reincarnation world destruction black lotus. In order to obtain this item, I sacrifice my body and the possibility of reincarnation in exchange for it from the devil ancestor. Raincoat Man said with a complicated tone. He was only a powerful ghost now. No matter how strong he was still a ghost. Hanju asked. In exchange? If the devil ancestor has such a powerful treasure, why wouldn't he dominate the immortal world? He knew the devil's ambitions. You're joking. He suffered a crushing defeat in the immeasurable calamity, and was expelled by the heavenly Tao. He can't return to the immortal world. He can only place his hopes on the devils. I gave my body to the devils, and now they have an immortal emperor body in the immortal world. Hanju frowned. The devils really didn't know how to give up. They were planting traps everywhere. There was the demonic path in the mortal world. The Buddhists in the immortal world had devil hearts. And now, they even recruited immortal emperors. Hanju suspected that one day, the devil race would sweep through all worlds again. No matter how one looked at it, the devil ancestor was the ultimate villain. The man in the raincoat raised his hand and pushed, causing the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction black lotus to fly towards Hanju. He instinctively resisted, but the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction black lotus suddenly sped up and crashed into his essence soul. Hanju was shocked. He wanted to expel the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction black lotus, but it was gone. Damn it! Hanju panicked. The man in the raincoat smiled and said, Since you've already accepted it, I believe you can definitely fulfill your promise to me. With that, the raincoat man turned around and left. Taoist Yuji has a favorable impression of you. Current favorability, 5 stars. Hanju looked at the line of words in front of him, and became speechless. He hesitated as he looked at Taoist Yuji's back. You haven't told me what the promise is. Afraid that he would be exposed, Hanju thought about it and decided to forget it. It might be troublesome after all. Hanju immediately jumped out of the netherworld, and his essence soul returned to his body. He hurriedly checked his body, afraid that he would be killed by the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction black lotus. However, even after searching for a long time, he still couldn't find it. He refused to believe it, and continued searching several hours later. Hanju finally found it. It was actually hidden in the primordial world, deep inside a star. Hanju couldn't force it out, but he discovered that the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction black lotus didn't harm him. The nebulous primordial chi was cleansing the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction black lotus. Although the effect was very weak, if it continued, perhaps one day, it could completely transform the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction black lotus into a dharma treasure that belonged to him. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. It was fine as long as there was no danger. He thought for a moment and said, Tao Comprehension Sword, go out for a while. In the midst of cultivating, Tao Comprehension Sword stood up and left instinctively. After she left, Hanju called the Heavenly Emperor. Visit Light Novel World. Com for a better user experience this time. The Heavenly Emperor replied quickly. What is it? Do you know the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus? How do you know about this? The Heavenly Emperor's tone was extremely serious, making him realize that this thing was really not simple. Hanju immediately replied, I met someone who treated me as Immortal Emperor Samsara. He even took out the 36th grade reincarnation world destroying Black Lotus, and said that he wanted to give it to me. The aura of that thing was too terrifying. I was so frightened that I immediately fled. Oh, Immortal Emperor Samsara is looking for the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus? Far away in the immortal world, the Heavenly Emperor couldn't help but frown. At this moment, the Heavenly Emperor was sitting on the majestic golden throne surrounded by 9 dragons, and looking down at the immortals slaughtering the demons. Frustrated, he thought to himself, what does Immortal Emperor Samsara want? Could it be that the mysterious existence who wields the Book of Curses is him? I don't know what his background is, or his cultivation goal. He can be said to be the most mysterious existence in the myriad worlds. He must have targeted Hanju. Hanju was the Heavenly Emperor's treasure. How could he allow Immortal Emperor Samsara to touch him? The Heavenly Emperor immediately sent a voice transmission. Where did you meet that person? Hanju said, the Netherworld. Don't go to the Netherworld in the future. The Heavenly Court can't control it. The Netherworld and the Heavenly Court are only helping each other. I understand. Can you tell me the origins of the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus? The Heavenly Emperor hesitated for a moment before revealing the origins of this treasure. Legend had it that when the world first opened, 4 lotuses were born in the world. They contained 4 different supreme laws. Obtaining one of them could allow one to comprehend the Great Tao. One of the lotuses transformed into a 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus after experiencing 4 immeasurable calamities. The 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus contained an extremely terrifying negative karma. It could directly trigger the immeasurable calamity before the Heavenly Tao reached the supposed boundary for the calamity to begin. This Black Lotus had accumulated the negative karma of 4 immeasurable calamities. It was extremely terrifying. The Heavenly Emperor warned, this Black Lotus should have been suppressed in the land of darkness under the cycle of reincarnation with the devil ancestor. He definitely did not let it out with good intentions. Even I am extremely afraid of this item. Don't get into contact with it, or I won't be able to save you. Visit Light Novel World. Com for a better reading experience. Hanju was embarrassed. He had already touched it and couldn't shake it off. He very seriously said, I understand. I won't touch that thing. Read at Wuxia World. EU. The Heavenly Emperor seemed to be very busy. He ended the conversation after warning him. The Heavenly Emperor seemed to be very busy. He ended the conversation after warning him. Hanju hesitated. He felt very uneasy after hearing the Heavenly Emperor's explanation. The 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus had a terrifying origin. It could directly activate the immeasurable calamity. Even the Heavenly Emperor was very afraid of it. Hanju instinctively resisted such an evil thing. However, he couldn't expel the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus from his body. Hanju began to recall his conversation with Taoist Yuji. He put himself in his shoes. If he was Taoist Yuji, would he believe the other party? Since he paid a huge price, Hanju would definitely be very cautious if he were Taoist Yuji. The two of them did not speak much. It was truly strange for Taoist Yuji to hand over the treasure he had exchanged his body for. Could this be a trap? Hanju thought of the heaven-mending stone arranged by Tai Sutian and felt even more uneasy. He checked Taoist Yuji's profile picture. Taoist Yuji, rank 2 Immortal Emperor, Ghost of the Underworld. He was once a great cultivator who had achieved the Tao in the immortal world. Because his family was slaughtered, his soul was forever suppressed in the depths of the Yellow Spring. He himself was also cursed by the Divine Palace's mighty figure, so he submitted to the mysterious Immortal Emperor Samsara. because you inherited the aura of immortal Emperor Samsara, and because you accepted the 36th grade Samsara world destruction Black Lotus that tortured him day and night, he developed a favorable impression of you. Current favorability: 5 stars. Tortured him day and night. Damn it. This old schemer. No wonder he didn't tell me about the promise. Hanju cursed in his heart. As expected, they were all old foxes. No one was honest. Fortunately, his stellar primordial body was strong enough to purify the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus. Hanju took a deep breath and adjusted his emotions. No matter what, the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus was already his. For the sake of the myriad worlds, he had to purify this item. Hanju felt that his responsibility had increased. There was basically a halo above his head. Continue cultivating. With the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus, he couldn't be involved in the calamity. Hanju's gaze became firm. Visit to Light Novel World. Discover new novels. No matter what kind of trouble he encountered or how difficult it was, he could never forget his original goal. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 years had passed. Hanju welcomed his 3000th birthday. Detected that you are 3000 years old. You have the following choices. 1. Immediately ascend and fight for providence. You can obtain a great Tao fragment and a mystical power inheritance. 2. Don't ascend for the time being and stay away from trouble. You can obtain a great Tao fragment and a supreme treasure. Hanju silently chose the second option. Unknowingly, he was already 3000 years old. Sigh. Time passed so quickly. Hanju looked at the notification. Congratulations on obtaining the Heavenly Constellation Great Tao Robe. Heavenly Constellation Great Tao Robe. Deity Realm Defensive Numinous Treasure. A Taoist robe refined from the Heavenly Tao's rules. It has extremely strong defense and can withstand attacks below the deity realm. However, it can't withstand attacks from immortal emperors for more than an hour. Deity Realm Defensive Numinous Treasure. Hanju's eyes lit up, and his breathing quickened. With this treasure, he was not afraid of immortal emperors attacking him. How satisfying. Hanju hurriedly took out the Heavenly Constellation Great Tao Robe. This robe was white, and its sleeves were embedded with decorations that looked like crystals. It looked ethereal. After making it recognizing him as the owner, Hanju wore the robe. Tao Comprehension Sword praised. Master, you look really good. Her burning gaze landed on the 9-5 Supreme Providence robe that he had taken off. Hanju understood what she was thinking, but he didn't plan to do as she wanted. This woman isn't going out to train. Why should she wear such a good robe? Hanju was in a good mood. He stood up and said, "Let's go. I'm going to preach the Tao." Tao Comprehension Sword's eyes lit up. Divine Palace. Visit Light Novel World. For a better reading experience, Su Chi was cultivating when a voice came from outside the hall. All disciples of the Divine Palace, come to the Divine Martial Hall immediately. The Sword God Emperor's voice. This time, it was not only him but all the disciples of the Divine Palace. Su Chi frowned, feeling inexplicably uneasy. Did something happen? He immediately stood up and walked forward. After flying out of the chamber, Su Chi saw countless Divine Palace disciples flying in the same direction. They were like a rain of arrows, countless. Su Chi hurriedly stopped a female disciple and asked, "What happened?" The female disciple's expression was terrified as she said, "The Divine Palace will join forces with the Heavenly Court and the Buddhist sect to besiege the Demon Court. All the races, sacred dynasties and families in the immortal world have already begun to take sides. The calamity of the world has arrived." Su Chi panicked when he heard that. He had heard a lot about the immeasurable calamity, so he was naturally afraid. Looks like it's time to go back, Su Chi thought silently. He didn't want to be involved in the calamity. A year later, after Hanju finished his lecture, he returned to his Khanate cave abode. He took out the Book of Misfortune and cursed Golden Rock Demon Lord as he checked his emails. Your good friend Huang Jihao was attacked by an immortal god, X249821. Your good friend Long Shan was attacked by demons X198005. Your grand disciple Morong Qi was attacked by demons X372098. Your good friend Sword God Emperor was attacked by the demon race's immortal emperor, X-23. Your good friend D Tai Bai was attacked by a demon saint and was severely injured. Your good friend Divine Lord Wu Da was attacked by a demon race's immortal emperor. His body was destroyed. Your good friend Jiang Yi was attacked by your good friend Divine General. He was severely injured. Your disciple Su Qi was attacked by a Divine Palace disciple, X427. Your good friend Zhou Fan was attacked by a cultivator and was severely injured. Hanju felt that it was extremely tragic. The latest episodes are on the light novel world.com website. Is this the great calamity? So exciting already? Hanju was shocked. He hoped that the calamity would not affect the mortal world. He was only 3,000 years old. He didn't want to sacrifice himself like this. Half a month later, after cursing Golden Rock Demon Lord, the Demon Emperor, and Li Xianao, Hanju continued cultivating. The Immortal Emperor realm was really difficult to cultivate. Hanju was still extremely far from becoming a rank 3 Immortal Emperor. This made him feel very anxious. The Immortal Emperor realm was still too weak. 20 years passed quickly. Ever since the Divine Palace joined the war, the people of the immortal world had not been living well. Battles erupted everywhere. Gradually, the living beings of the upper world descended into the mortal world to hide. Some even wanted to occupy the reroll world. However, the intruders were all dealt with by the white-robed Buddha. As long as it was not an immortal emperor, the white-robed Buddha would take the initiative to attack. At this moment, Hanju was guiding Xing Hongxian in the cave abode. Xing Hongshuan's cultivation had already reached the Tribulation Transcendence realm. She came to ask Hanju if she should ascend, and was stopped by him. After knowing how terrifying the immeasurable calamity was, Xing Hongxian no longer dared to think about ascending. Hanju suddenly felt something, and his expression changed. He said in a low voice, "Go back first. I still have something to do." Xing Hongxian was stunned, but she noticed that there was something wrong with his expression. Thus, she immediately nodded and left. After she left the cave abode, Hanju immediately closed his eyes and sensed the primordial world. Deep in a star, the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus beat like a heart, constantly emitting negative karma. This negative karma fused with Hanju's nebulous primordial chi, making him very uneasy. His consciousness stared intently at the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus. He was extremely nervous. Was something going to happen? Wait! After his negative karma and nebulous primordial chi fused, the primordial chi seemed to have become stronger. It was not contaminated by negative karma. Visit to Light Novel World.com. Discover new novels. Read at Wuxia World. EU. Dao Comprehension Sword widened her eyes. What's this? Go out. The black hell chicken is outside, Hanju said expressionlessly. Thank you for sparing my life, senior, the black hell demon lord hurriedly said before flying out of the cave abode. Dao Comprehension Sword asked who he was. Hanju didn't hide anything. Dao Comprehension Sword was shocked to learn of the black hell chicken's origins. That chicken was not bragging. It was really a phoenix. Hanju said seriously. You can't trust him completely, understand? Dao Comprehension Sword nodded. Without Hanju's reminder, it was impossible for her to completely trust the Black Hell Demon Lord. The pressure emitted by him was too strong. Under the Fusang tree, the Black Hell Chicken was very excited to see the Black Hell Demon Lord. It asked in confusion, "Why did you come out of Master's cave abode?" The others looked at the Black Hell Demon Lord curiously. The two golden crows felt as if they were facing a formidable enemy. The three-headed Wyrm King also looked at the Black Hell Demon Lord in fear. The Black Hell Demon Lord was an immortal emperor of the demon race. Although he didn't have a physical body, his demonic might was still extremely terrifying to demons. The source of this chapter is Light Novel World. Cough. I'll discuss the Tao with you. From now on, I'll join the hidden sect. I'm the Black Hell Demon Lord. I was once the Demon Court's Demon Lord of the Upper World. I'm from the Black Hell Phoenix clan, and am also the leader. The Black Hell Chicken is the reincarnation of my younger brother. The Black Hell Demon Lord made up an excuse, and started introducing himself. After decades of fear, he no longer cared about his reputation, as long as he did not anger his senior. Everyone was interested and immediately surrounded him. Since they were on the same side, there was no need to be afraid. Just like that, the Black Hell Demon Lord joined the hidden sect. In the immortal world, in a hall that flickered with dark candlelight, the Demon Emperor sat on a mat. On his leg was a strange black sword. The Demon Emperor suddenly opened his eyes and frowned. He muttered, "Where did this person come from? He can actually subdue the Black Hell Demon Lord." He sensed that the providence of the demon court was missing a demon lord. It was the Black Hell Demon Lord, and he was not dead. This fellow had submitted to the enemy. Betrayal before the calamity truly infuriated the Demon Emperor. However, the Demon Emperor did not have the time to go to the mortal world for the time being. Now he was surrounded by 3 major factions and was extremely busy. The Demon Emperor waved his hand. Soon, a ball of demonic aura rushed into the hall like a shooting star and transformed into a human. This demon was burly like a bear. Its face was ugly and sinister, as if it had been burned by flames. "Burning Sun Demon Lord, I'm sending you to find the Golden Crow Divine Clan. Say that I agree to their conditions. Ask them to burn all the worlds under the heavenly court," the Demon Emperor said in a low voice, his tone filled with killing intent. Burning Sun Demon Lord frowned. "Your Majesty, the Golden Crow Divine Clan is ambitious. If go, there can be no creation without destruction. The calamity has already begun. Who can guarantee that we will definitely be able to laugh until the end?" The Demon Emperor waved his sleeve and said without any room for rebuttal. Burning Sun Demon Lord could only cup his fists and leave. The Demon Emperor looked at the sword in his hand and muttered, "In this calamity, I will definitely make the demons return to the peak of the heavens." He frowned again. Damn it. That dog hiding in the dark started cursing him again. Time passed. 25 years later, Hanju's cultivation level increased quite a lot. Other than his usual cultivation, the primordial world was also constantly devouring negative karma, causing his cultivation speed to double. He could clearly feel himself strengthening again. Visit lightnovelworld.com. For the best novel reading experience, the rank 3 Immortal Emperor was no longer far away. Besides cultivating, Hanju wouldn't forget to curse his enemies. The current Book of Misfortune was already an Emperor Dao supreme treasure. Cursing an immortal emperor was also very effective. Not long ago, Golden Rock Demon Lord had been cursed to develop a mental demon. He was probably less than 100 years away from death. The Black Hell Demon Lord also condensed his body again. He was pleasantly surprised to discover that the immortal chi of the Cultivate Diligently Become Immortal Mountain was not inferior to his cave abode in the Demon Court. He could cultivate here in peace. After so many years, he had a favorable impression of the people from the hidden sect. Most importantly, he discovered that these people were not simple. Long Hao, the son of the Heavenly Emperor, Sun Chang'an, a Buddhist ancient spiritual ginseng, and a famous natural treasure in the immortal world. Zhou Mingyue, the demon saint who had wreaked havoc in the heavenly court not long ago. The Black Hell Demon Lord had even interacted with him. Tu Linger actually possessed the bloodline of a Grand Magus. The chaotic heavenly dog could spontaneously produce providence. As for Chu Shuren, the Black Hell Demon Lord couldn't deduce his previous life. What did that mean? It meant that Chu Shuren was stronger than him in his previous life. In addition, the 2 golden crows had karma with Di Hongya. The Black Hell Demon Lord suddenly felt that joining the hidden sect was not a bad thing. On this day, the white-robed Buddha came to visit. Hanju let him enter the mountain. Landing under the Fusang tree, the white-robed Buddha trembled in fear when he saw the Black Hell Demon Lord. Why was the Black Hell Demon Lord here? Come in. Hanju's voice floated over. The white-robed Buddha could only suppress his shock and carefully enter the Khanate cave abode. He knelt in front of Hanju and said, "Senior, I'm preparing to break through to the Emperor realm. Visit lightnovelworld.com. For the best novel reading experience, read at Wuxia World. EU. Go ahead, Hanju replied casually. The reason why he let the white-robed Buddha in was that he sensed that he was about to reach the Emperor realm, so he wanted to use the Black Hell Demon Lord to intimidate him. Go ahead, Hanju replied casually. The reason why he let the white-robed Buddha in was that he sensed that he was about to reach the Emperor realm. So he wanted to use the Black Hell Demon Lord to intimidate him. The white-robed Buddha said, during this period of time, I have to head to the void to avoid harming the mortal world. But I'm afraid, Hanju interrupted. Try your best to become an immortal emperor. I can take care of you as long as you don't leave the reroll world. The white-robed Buddha was pleasantly surprised and hurriedly kowtowed. In the future you will be a hidden sect disciple. How about that? Hanju asked as he stared at him. The white-robed Buddha immediately promised. From now on, I'm a disciple of the hidden sect. Buddhist sect? Chan school? If they offend you, they will be my enemy. Hanju smiled in satisfaction and waved his hand, signaling that he could leave. After the white-robed Buddha became an emperor, the hidden sect would have 2 immortal emperors. It could be considered a major force in the immortal world. Hanju began to test the experts near the reroll world. Fortunately, there were no strong enemies. Since there were no strong enemies, he could cultivate in peace. The white-robed Buddha headed into the void and began to meditate. He didn't immediately transcend the tribulation. Instead, he needed to prepare for a period of time. Several months later, Ditaibai contacted Hanju through the Heavenly Dao token. Before his divine sense could speak, Ditaibai spoke first. Something's wrong. The Golden Crow Divine Clan is actually supporting the Demon Court and is beginning to engulf the mortal worlds below the Heavenly Court. More than 10 mortal worlds have already been destroyed by them. You have to be careful. If you really can't, you can come to the Heavenly Court. Golden Crow Divine Clan? Hanju asked in surprise. Can the Demon Court and the Golden Crow Divine Clan sweep through the myriad worlds? Ditaibai said helplessly. Too many races in the immortal world belong to the demon race. The number of demons far exceeds that of the human race. I didn't expect the Demon Emperor to secretly match up so many races. It seems that he has long been harboring ulterior motives. Hanju showed a frown. The Golden Crow Divine Clan was very strong. Previously, when they fought against the Divine Palace, they were extremely powerful. Hanju couldn't help but think of the 2 Golden Crows and their mother, Di Hongya. He wondered if he could use this relationship to avoid them. Thank you for your reminder, Senior. I have to stay behind to protect the reroll world. It's impossible for me to go to the Heavenly Court. Never in this life. Creating havoc in Heavenly Court was an achievement. Who knew how many people wanted to obtain it? It was truly dangerous there. Then you have to be careful. His Majesty has left the Heavenly Court for a period of time. And I don't know when he will return. Sigh, that's all. Follow new episodes on the Light Novel World. Com platform. Ditaibai quickly severed his divine sense connection. Hanju couldn't help but worry when he heard that the Heavenly Emperor had left. Did something happen? He quickly checked the emails. Your good friend Divine General was attacked by your good friend Di Hongya. Your good friend Tai Sutian has arrived at Buzhou Divine Mountain. Your good friend Huang Jihao was attacked by a heavenly general and was severely injured. Fortunately, your enemy Li Xianao saved him. Your good friend Pan Xian was sent into the endless purgatory by a mighty figure. Your grand disciple Morong Qi has left the immortal world. Your disciple Su Qi has left the immortal world. Your good friend Heavenly Emperor was attacked by a mighty figure. X7 The Heavenly Emperor was indeed attacked. The Divine General was even attacked by Di Hongya. Why did it feel like the Demon Court was targeting the Heavenly Court? There was no movement from the Divine Palace and Buddhist sect? Hanju looked down and saw that the Sword God Emperor was attacked by a demon mighty figure. He immediately felt relieved. Since the Divine Palace was also being beaten, that was fine. Hanju was afraid that the myriad worlds would besiege the Heavenly Court. If that happened, the Heavenly Court would definitely not be able to withstand it. Too dangerous. Was this the immeasurable calamity? He wouldn't have to worry so much if he was a zenith heaven. He was still too weak. Hanju took a deep breath and stopped thinking about it. He continued cultivating. 8 years later, the white-robed Buddha began his tribulation. The tribulation of an immortal emperor was extremely terrifying. Even the living beings in the mortal world could sense it. The Emperor Tribulation thundercloud covered an area larger than the reroll world. Fortunately, the heavenly might only made everyone uneasy and did not affect their lives. Hanju looked at the void speechless. Visit Light Novel World. Com for a better user experience. This is the heavenly tribulation of the Emperor realm? How terrifying. It felt like an ordinary rank 1 immortal emperor couldn't withstand it. It seemed like the white-robed Buddha was about to suffer. Hanju thought silently. The might of the Emperor Tribulation was too great. He didn't know if it would attract a mighty figure. He could only pray that the white-robed Buddha did not have many enemies. Half a year later, the tribulation continued. 2 figures flew over from the end of the void. They were Morongqi and Suqi. The 2 of them descended into the mortal world. They met on the way and returned together. Someone is transcending the tribulation up ahead, Morongqi suddenly said, and raised his hand to stop Suqi. Suqi stopped and looked up. Heavenly tribulation rumbled at the end of the void. Countless strange purple lightning and golden lightning flashed. It was an extremely spectacular sight. What realm is this? This pressure? Suqi asked with widened eyes. Morongqi's expression was grave as he said, Immortal Emperor. This person is the white-robed Buddha of the Buddhist sect. Suqi asked nervously, if an immortal emperor is transcending his tribulation here without restraint, what's wrong with the mortal world? His heart sank. Morongqi was also a little worried. The 2 of them immediately circled around and quickly entered the reroll world. Realizing that there were no disasters in the mortal world, they hurriedly rushed to the Cultivate diligently become immortal mountain. With their current cultivation levels, they quickly arrived under the Fusang tree. Where's Master? I want to see Master. An immortal emperor is transcending the tribulation outside. Suqi hurriedly said as he walked towards the Khanate cave abode. Morongqi suddenly pulled him back. Suqi said angrily, why are you stopping me again? Morongqi took a deep breath and said, it should be fine. There's another immortal emperor besides him. Suqi couldn't help but turn around and see the cultivating Black Hell Demon Lord. The Black Hell Demon Lord opened one eye and smiled teasingly. I was wondering who it was. So it's Profound Truth Divine Emperor. It really was the War God. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. Previously, he had heard Sun Chang'an brag that his disciple was the reincarnation of a war god. He had even disdained it. True war gods were all geniuses. Would they become his disciple? Unexpectedly, it was true. Furthermore, this war god had once shocked the immortal world. Morongqi frowned and asked, why are you here? I've already joined the hidden sect, the Black Hell Demon Lord said proudly. When Morongqi was strong, even the Black Hell Demon Lord had to look up to him. After so many years, Morongqi had reincarnated and recultivated, while he was already a demon lord of the demon court. No, the demon court demon lord's identity was already discarded. Suqi was stunned. An immortal emperor had entered the hidden sect? Morongqi asked. The white-robed Buddha also joined the hidden sect? The Black Hell Demon Lord snorted and said, probably. He felt disdain towards the white-robed Buddha. Morongqi and Suqi were shocked. How many years had it been? The hidden sect already had 2 immortal emperors? Wait. How strong was Hanju? Come in. Hanju's voice floated over from the Khanate cave abode. The 2 of them hurriedly walked into the cave abode. After entering, they quickly knelt in front of Hanju. Dao Comprehension Sword looked at them curiously. Didn't they ascend? Why were they back? Also puzzled, Hanju asked. The calamity is already so large? Morongqi sighed. We were worried about the hidden sect. I didn't expect it to not need our protection. Suqi chuckled. That's not my case. I came back to seek protection. The most up-to-date novels are published on Light Novel World. Read at Wuxia World. EU. Hanju looked at Suqi and fell silent. After stepping into the immortal emperor realm, Hanju could feel the existence of misfortune. The bad luck on Suqi was too strong. He was stronger than all the living beings he had encountered. Misfortune was different from negative karma. Although negative karma was scary, it was far inferior to bad luck. Misfortune was simply terrifying. Suqi felt weak under his gaze. Could it be that master was not satisfied with him? But this made sense. His master had sent him into the divine palace, but before his master could go, he had already escaped. Su Qi said awkwardly, "Master, I'm useless. Please punish me." Coming back to his senses, Hanju said, "It's fine. In the future, you can stay on the mountain and cultivate. The calamity is coming. The entire hidden sect should work together to avoid it." Su Qi nodded. Morongqi asked curiously, "Grandmaster, are the Black Hell Demon Lord and the white-robed Buddha sincere in joining us?" Hanju said, "Time will tell. Just wait and see. However, they don't dare to act recklessly in the reroll world." Morongqi felt deep veneration for him. How strong is Grandmaster? Rank 9 Immortal Emperor? A deity realm mighty figure? Or the legendary illusory Zenith Heaven? Hanju then asked them to find a place to cultivate. The disciples of the hidden sect were used to cultivating under the Fusang tree. The immortal qi there was the most abundant. After the two of them left, Hanju turned to look at the resurrection lily in the corner of the cave abode. The resurrection lily was given to him by Mengpu. There was originally only one, but in recent years, several resurrection lilies had grown nearby. From the looks of it, more resurrection lilies would be born. Hanju used his divine sense to observe the resurrection lily and discovered that it contained yin-yang qi and could survive in the netherworld and the living world. The latest episodes are on the light novel world.com website. Everyone knew that living beings could not survive in the netherworld, only ghosts and souls could. However, Hanju did see some living beings in the netherworld. He had been thinking about what the disciples of the hidden sect would do if he fled to the hidden sect island. They weren't immortal emperors, and might not be able to withstand the spirit qi of the netherworld. Perhaps the resurrection lily was the solution. Hanju thought silently. Wait, why did he have to guess? He should just ask. Hanju cursed himself for being stupid. He immediately called the Black Hell Demon Lord in and asked about this. The Black Hell Demon Lord was originally very nervous, but seeing that it was only a question, he immediately relaxed. He coughed and said, "The resurrection lily can indeed allow living beings to live in the netherworld. However, after consuming it, you will be repelled by the cycle of reincarnation and won't be able to reincarnate." "I see." Hanju continued to ask, "I want to open a Dao field in the netherworld. How can the living survive there?" The Black Hell Demon Lord said, "We just need to modify the Dao field and fill it with immortal qi to isolate the yin qi." "You will?" "Yes." "Okay, I'll leave this to you in the future. I won't let you down," the Black Hell Demon Lord promised. Hanju nodded in satisfaction. The atmosphere fell silent. Hanju didn't say anything else and gestured for him to leave. The Black Hell Demon Lord wanted to say something but hesitated. Then he gritted his teeth and said, "Sect Master, I want the Black Hell Phoenix clan to move into the reroll world. I'm the strongest in my clan. The remaining clansmen are less than 1,000,000 years old. If you go to the netherworld in the future, you can also bring my clansmen to protect the hidden sect." Hanju narrowed his eyes. "Why?" The Black Hell Demon Lord sighed. "We're originally from the Phoenix clan, but the Phoenix clan has already collapsed. I hope that the clan can continue to exist. If I betray the demon court, the demon emperor will definitely not let my clansmen go. I hope to fetch them before he has the time to take revenge on my clan." "So you want to leave the reroll world?" No. I can use my mystical power to bring them here," the Black Hell Demon Lord said fearfully. He kept promising that Hanju could trust him. Hanju looked at his favorability and smiled. "It's natural to protect your race. Why would I stop you?" Content is taken from Light Novel World.com. The Black Hell Demon Lord said in surprise. "Thank you, Senior. Black Hell Demon Lord's favorability towards you has increased. Current favorability, 5. 5 stars." Looking at the line of words that appeared in front of him, Hanju smiled. A year later, the white-robed Buddha successfully transcended the tribulation and became an immortal emperor. The providence of the reroll world also increased. The spirit qi of heaven and earth soared. Countless golden rain poured down from the sky and melted on the ground and sea. This was a blessing to the world. The white-robed Buddha's providence was already tied to the reroll world. He had obtained the Tao, so the mortal world would naturally enjoy prosperity. It could be said that when a person achieved the Tao, everyone would enjoy the benefits. In the midst of cultivating, Hanju took out the heavenly Tao token. The token burned and trembled. Again, Hanju threw the token aside and continued cultivating 5 years later. The providence of the mortal world no longer increased. The heavenly Tao had grown again, and the ceiling of the mortal world rose to the grand unity heaven immortal realm, not far from the true immortal realm. Hanju was shocked. An immortal emperor could actually bring such a huge improvement to the mortal world. Senior, I've succeeded. The white-robed Buddha's voice entered Hanju's ears, his tone filled with excitement. Hanju thought for a moment and jumped into the void, appearing in front of him. Since you've broken through, do you want to test your strength? Hanju asked with a smile. When the white-robed Buddha heard that, he couldn't help but raise his eyebrows and smile. All right. Hanju took out the primordial judgment sword and waited for him to attack. 5 breaths later, the white-robed Buddha exclaimed, Senior, I admit defeat. I admit defeat. For more novel, visit Light Novel World. Calm as far as the eye could see, countless sword shadows floated in the air. All of them were pointing at him. A terrifying killing intent locked onto him, causing him to break out in cold sweat. Even as an immortal emperor, he could smell death. The difference between them was too great. At the same time, under the Fusang tree, the Black Hell Demon Lord revealed a disdainful smile and muttered, A mere rank 1 immortal emperor dares to take this move? He could still remember Hanju's strength. Facing him, he had no chance at all. He even suspected that Hanju was only playing with him back then. If he really wanted to kill him, he could probably destroy his body and soul with a thought. The Black Hell Demon Lord put himself in his shoes. If he wanted to kill someone, he wouldn't stop even if the other party begged for mercy. Just as the Black Hell Demon Lord was sighing, Hanju appeared under the Fusang tree. The white-robed Buddha also appeared. This is the white-robed Buddha. He has just become an immortal emperor and will be a member of the hidden sect in the future. He and the Black Hell Demon Lord are equivalent to the second-generation disciples of the hidden sect. Hanju introduced. The so-called second-generation disciples were actually 1 generation younger than himself. After all, he was an immortal emperor. Hanju couldn't let them be Sun Chang'an and Su Qi's disciples. Everyone stood up nervously. They were immortal emperors after all. The white-robed Buddha smiled and said, In the future, I'll be guarding the reroll world. If any of you have any questions regarding cultivation, you can look for me. His attitude wasn't snobbish. After all, most of the disciples on this mountain had the potential to become immortal emperors. Especially Chu Shuren, the reincarnation of the Supreme Buddha. He was a mighty figure above the emperor realm. The others gathered around him. Morongqi was secretly shocked. This fellow isn't even willing to leave after becoming an immortal emperor. How strong is Grandmaster? He was more and more curious about Hanju's identity. Hanju must have lived for countless years as a mighty figure. He was just hiding in the mortal world to cultivate. The latest episodes are on the Light Novel World.com website. At this moment, a terrifying pressure enveloped the entire world. The aura of an immortal emperor. No wonder the providence of this world has increased so quickly. Just nice. I'm hungry and will devour your entire world. Read at Wuxia World. EU. The sudden sneer shocked all the living beings in the world. The sudden sneer shocked all the living beings in the world. Hanju immediately checked the enemies nearby. Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. Rank 9 Immortal Emperor. Supreme Prodigy of the Golden Crow Divine Clan. Rank 9 Immortal Emperor. Hanju was secretly shocked. He was only a rank 2 Immortal Emperor. How could he defeat a rank 9 Immortal Emperor? The Black Hell Demon Lord was moved. He gritted his teeth and said, It's actually the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. Before Jiang Yi was born, this fellow was the #1 prodigy of the Golden Crow Divine Clan. It's said that he can surpass the Emperor realm at any time. Hanju disappeared into the void. With the heavenly constellation Great Tao Robe, he was not afraid of being insta-killed by the other party. Arriving in the void, Hanju looked up. A terrifying black shadow occupied the entire void. just its wild and evil eyes were bigger than the reroll world. Upon seeing him, the great freedom golden crow divine emperor couldn't help but look down at him. He smiled teasingly and said, "Are you the guardian of this mortal world? You actually managed to subdue the black hell demon lord and the white-robed Buddha. It seems that you are not weak. I'll give you a chance. Kneel down and I might spare your life." "How arrogant!" Hanju immediately shouted. "I have the protection of the heavenly emperor. How can I kneel down to you? Are you stronger than the heavenly emperor? That's impossible. Otherwise, you would be heavenly emperor, heavenly emperor, heavenly emperor." Hanju called the heavenly emperor 3 times. The great freedom golden crow divine emperor thought that he was mocking him and was immediately furious. A huge palm detached from the endless black shadows and slapped at Hanju. The reroll world seemed as tiny as a stone in front of this huge palm. Hanju didn't panic. He took out the primordial judgment sword and slashed with it. Sword pierces heaven. Sword chi erupted. A black sword chi collided with the huge palm like a brush. In an instant, the void distorted and surging demonic aura dispersed into mist. Hanju showed a frown. So powerful. His heavenly sword Dao was actually unable to break through this palm. New chapters are published on Light Novel World. Comet was still too difficult for a rank 2 immortal emperor to fight a rank 9 immortal emperor. Your sword chi has already reached the level of a rank 6 immortal emperor. However, with this strength, you want to fight me? Dream on. You can enter my stomach along with this world. The golden crow divine emperor laughed arrogantly. Just as he finished speaking, the scorching true sun flame quickly burned and swept through the entire void as a terrifying 3-legged golden crow appeared. The eyes of this 3-legged golden crow were filled with madness. He suddenly opened his mouth, and the rolling true sun flame swept down like a torrent. If Hanju dodged, the reroll world would instantly turn into dust. How ruthless! Hanju cursed silently. His left hand suddenly struck upwards and all his dermic powers poured out, condensing into a mighty golden palm. Great Sun Tathagata palm. Since the golden crow divine emperor was so arrogant, he must have killed many enemies before to create such a condescending attitude. In other words, his negative karma was monstrous. The more negative karma the enemy had, the stronger the effect of the Great Sun Tathagata palm. The Great Sun Tathagata palm collided with the surging true sun flame and directly dispersed it, crashing into the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor with unstoppable force. Great Sun Tathagata palm. Are you a Buddhist? The Golden Crow Divine Emperor cried out in surprise as his killing intent soared. I hate Buddhists the most. Die! The Golden Crow Divine Emperor roared angrily. He suddenly opened his bloody mouth and devoured the world. Hanju quickly waved his sword. The sword chi collided with the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's mouth and dissipated. Crap! I can't block it. This fellow really wants to swallow the reroll world. At this moment, many thoughts flashed through Hanju's mind. Run! If he fled, the people from the reroll world and hidden sect would be finished. But if he didn't escape, he would be swallowed along with them. A figure suddenly appeared in front of Hanju. His back was imposing and exuded a powerful aura. The Heavenly Emperor. Try the Light Novel World. Com platform for the most advanced reading experience. He raised his hand and pointed. A golden dragon shot out and pierced the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's throat at a speed that even Hanju couldn't keep up with. Heavenly Emperor. The Golden Crow Divine Emperor was frightened. The terrifying true sun flame shrank and condensed into a figure. The Heavenly Emperor snorted and shouted, "Get lost!" The handsome face of the Golden Crow Divine Emperor was extremely sinister. He gritted his teeth and said, "Heavenly Emperor, you actually came personally. Could this child be your son?" Hanju cursed silently. So be it. Why did he have to say that? The Heavenly Emperor said expressionlessly, "If you don't leave in 3 breaths, die." The Golden Crow Divine Emperor's expression darkened. He quickly retreated and said, "Very good, I have my eyes on this world. When the Demon Emperor reaches the 9 heavens, I will definitely come and eat him. At that time, I'll see if you can still come to save him, Heavenly Emperor. The Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 5 stars. Hanju frowned when he saw this notification. 3 breaths later, his aura had already vanished. The Heavenly Emperor turned around and glanced at Hanju from the corner of his eye. Leave the reroll world. With that, he turned into a wisp of green smoke and vanished. Hanju was surprised. Could it be that it was not the Heavenly Emperor's true body? His heart sank. Hearing the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor's words, the Heavenly Court was about to face a huge crisis. Hanju turned around and returned to the Fusang tree. The Black Hell Demon Lord sighed. Sect Master, what's your relationship with the Heavenly Emperor? Long Hao widened his eyes and asked in surprise. Father came just now. Hanju sat down expressionlessly and said, the greatest crisis in the history of the reroll world has arrived. Everyone be prepared. Everyone had solemn expressions. The Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor's aura just now was truly terrifying, making them feel as if they were facing the collapse of the sky. Who is the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor? Ada, do you know him? Updated at Light Novel World. No, we've never been to the main clan. What should we do? Should we run? The Golden Crow Divine Clan was once a member of the demon race's royalty. Now they are also extremely powerful. Everyone discussed. Even the Black Hell Demon Lord frowned. The Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor was extremely powerful. He also had the Golden Crow Divine Clan backing him. It was not something that a mortal world could withstand. Hanju was also deep in thought. The white-robed Buddha said, if we can hide the reroll world and isolate it from the Heavenly Tao Tablet, we might be able to escape the pursuit of the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. Hide it? How could he hide it? Thinking of something, Hanju's expression changed slightly. The others also discussed. Numinous Palace. The Heavenly Emperor sat on the throne. Report Great Peak Giant God was attacked by the Golden Crow Divine Clan and was severely injured. Report a large number of demons are gathering outside the North Heavenly Gate. Report Buddhist Thunderclap Monastery was attacked by the Rock Race. Report Divine Palace replied that they were surrounded by the Vermilion Bird Race. Heavenly troops flew into the hall one after another, reporting the bad news. The expressions of the gods darkened. The heavenly generals were all fighting outside. Only the literature immortals remained to guard the heavenly court. The Heavenly Emperor was expressionless as he tapped the armrest with his right index finger. Taibai hesitated. He had thought that they would be able to take down the demon court. He didn't expect them to erupt with such terrifying power. Many ancient races supported the demon court. The demon emperor's target was mainly focused on the heavenly court. The situation was critical, and the morale of the court was also decreasing. Visit to Light Novel World. Discover new novels. Read at Wuxia World. EU. When no more heavenly soldiers came to report, the numinous palace quickly fell into chaos. When no more heavenly soldiers came to report, the numinous palace quickly fell into chaos. Some immortals suggested, some sighed, and some cursed angrily. At this moment, they had lost the solemnity and steadiness of immortals. The Heavenly Emperor suddenly snorted coldly, like a hammer striking the hearts of all the immortals. All the immortals shut up and did not dare to speak again. In the heavenly court, the Heavenly Emperor had absolute authority. The Heavenly General is about to return. All of you hold on for a while longer. The demon court will definitely be even more anxious than us at this moment. The heavenly court can't afford to lose, and neither can the demon court. Instead of regretting, why don't you think about how to kill the enemy? The Heavenly Emperor said casually. In the past, the battles of the 4 great factions had always been in their eyes. Now it was different. The demon emperor had already gone mad. If the heavenly court lost, they would definitely be massacred. Furthermore, it was the early stage of the immeasurable calamity now. Taibai asked, what about the mortal world? Activate the divine investiture board and announce to the heavens. Tell the mortals that if they can kill their way to the heavenly court from the mortal world, they can become immortals and gods. They can fight freely in the mortal world. In addition, fuse the heavenly Tao tablet of the heavenly court with the main heavenly Tao. The heavenly emperor instructed with a solemn expression. The immortals were in an uproar. The heavenly emperor was going all out. above the reroll world in the void. Hanju looked down at the reroll world and raised his arms. He spread out his dermic powers, wanting to cover the entire world. After doing so, he wanted to suck the entire reroll world into his primordial world. However, a mysterious force isolated him from the outside world, preventing him from dragging the reroll world into his primordial world. He couldn't even move it. Heavenly Tao. Hanju retracted his dermic powers inside. As expected, it did not work. If it could, so many mortal worlds would not have been destroyed. Hanju fell into a dilemma again. What should he do? Give up on the reroll world? New chapters are published on Light Novel World. No. He would curse when he returned. Hanju came to the Khanate cave abode. He had more than 7 trillion years of life. He could try his best to curse the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. At least let this fellow mess with him in a short period of time. Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune and started cursing. 10 days later, Hanju's eyes started to bleed. A month later, Hanju's face was covered in blood, but he still didn't see the notification that the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor had been successfully cursed. Damn it! So fierce. Hanju didn't believe in failure and continued cursing. He insisted on cursing. Another month passed. Hanju's hands started to crack and blood oozed out. He had already lost 10 million years of his lifespan. Finally, your enemy Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor has suffered damage to his Tao heart due to your curse. Fortunately, the Great Freedom Chi has healed him. Hanju widened his eyes and wanted to vomit blood. What was the Great Freedom Chi? Hanju put down the Book of Misfortune and wiped the blood off his face. He was extremely depressed. He took out the Heavenly Tao token and asked Ditai Bai, Great Freedom Chi? That's the legendary Chi. It's said to be a mystical power created by a sage. In the current world, only the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor has this mystical power. I'm not sure either, Ditai Bai replied. Visit Light Novel World. For a better reading experience, he added. You want to target the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor, right? I advise you to give up. He's almost invincible among the immortal emperors and can enter the deity realm at any time. Now that the heavenly court is in danger, the immortal gods are prepared to give up the mortal worlds. Hanju frowned. He had a bad feeling. His backing was about to collapse. Hanju asked, Can the heavenly court survive? Ditai Bai smiled. Don't worry. How many immeasurable calamities has the heavenly court endured? It's just very dangerous now. We can't care about the mortal worlds. If they're gone, we can always create new ones. Hanju felt inexplicably sad. It was unknown if he felt sad for the heavenly court or for the mortals. After severing the connection, Hanju called the Black Hell Demon Lord in. Then, he used his essence soul to lead him to the netherworld and quickly entered the hidden sect island. Create the formation first. Tell my clone when it's done. Hanju pointed at the heavenly puppet. The Black Hell Demon Lord accepted the order, and Hanju's essence soul jumped back into the mortal world. Hanju opened his eyes and heaved a sigh of relief. He had already prepared for the worst. If he couldn't protect the reroll world, he would protect the hidden sect. No matter what, he couldn't lose his life for the sake of the reroll world. Tao Comprehension Sword asked worriedly, Master, are we escaping? She had heard others say that the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor was a supreme expert of the Golden Crow Divine Clan, an existence that had forced the Heavenly Emperor to personally take action. Hanju said, Probably. You always felt that I was lying to you in the past. Now a powerful enemy is here. Tao Comprehension Sword said seriously, No matter where Master goes, I'm willing to follow. It's fine even if I have to suffer. Hanju smiled helplessly. Come to think of it, the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor was the first enemy who truly made him want to escape. The previous enemies were either insta-killed by him or killed before they could even come. Myriad worlds, listen up. Today, the Heavenly Court will open the Divine Investiture Board. If all living beings can reach above the 9 heavens and find the 4 heavenly gates of the north, south, east, and west, they can all become gods or immortals. From today onwards, tens of thousands of mortal worlds can fight. Immortals and gods will no longer control the mortal worlds. Follow new episodes on the light novel world. Com platform. A loud voice resounded throughout the world. It was not only the reroll world, but also the other mortal worlds. Hanju was stunned. Giving up just like that. Hanju felt that the heavenly court was a little heartless. But on second thought, this might be a good thing. At the very least, the demon court would know that the mortal worlds were already useless to the heavenly court. Destroying the mortal worlds to threaten the heavenly court was futile. This was only a good aspect. The cruel thing was that there would definitely be demons devouring the mortal worlds. Wait. Hanju seemed to sense something. His expression changed, and he disappeared into the cave abode. He arrived in the void, and wrapped the reroll world with his dermic powers. The huge reroll world began to move. The heavenly Tao power that protected the reroll world had vanished. Could it be related to the heavenly court giving up on the mortal worlds? Great! Hanju thought in surprise. Above the endless thunderclouds was a divine hall 10,000 feet tall. This divine hall did not have a ceiling. A huge three-legged golden crow occupied it. The true sun flame burned like an imprisoned sun. It was the great freedom golden crow divine emperor. A ball of demonic aura pierced through the thundercloud and flew in front of him, transforming into a huge face. It was the face of the demon emperor. The heavenly court has already given up on the mortal worlds. You can continue to annex the reroll world. The demon emperor instructed with a murderous tone. The great freedom golden crow divine emperor opened his eyes and said, "You don't have to tell me. I will go regardless. But why do you hate a mortal world so much?" The demon emperor replied, "My son died in that world. I can't read it either. Furthermore, the son of the heavenly emperor is in this world. Even the black hell demon lord betrayed me. Therefore this world must be destroyed." The great freedom golden crow divine emperor snorted, "Don't worry. I'll return soon. At that time, I'll make that kid cry and beg for mercy." He gritted his teeth at the thought of Hanju inviting the heavenly emperor to help. The two bastards of his race were also there. All of them had to die. That's good. After this tribulation ends, I'll give you a purple firmament spot. The demon emperor vanished after saying that. Visit Light Novel World. Com for a better user experience. The great freedom golden crow divine emperor's eyes flickered. It was unknown what he was thinking. Read at Wuxia World. EU. In the void, there was nothing in front of Hanju. The reroll world no longer existed after being sucked into the primordial world. In the void, there was nothing in front of Hanju. The reroll world no longer existed after being sucked into the primordial world. Hanju smiled. He could run now. The thought of losing 10 million years of his lifespan on the Golden Crow Divine Emperor made him very unhappy. When he reached Hidden Sect Island, he would definitely continue cursing him. "Stupid bird, don't think about being safe anymore." Hanju cursed silently and meditated. The reason why he did not immediately head to the Netherworld was to wait for the Black Hell Phoenix clan. The Black Hell Demon Lord had already sent news to his clansmen, but it was a long journey. There was no immortal chi or spirit chi in the void. Ordinary living beings could not cultivate here. The reason why Hanju could cultivate was that the reroll world was in the depths of his soul. He could directly absorb its immortal chi. 4 years later, the Black Hell Phoenix clan had finally arrived. There were a total of 7 Black Hell Phoenixes. The strongest was a Grand Unity Golden Immortal, while the other 6 were Grand Unity True Immortals. They looked very nervous when they saw Hanju, and they were about to bow. "There's no time to explain. Let's go first." Hanju waved his sleeve, and used the universe in the sleeve's mystical power to sweep the 7 Black Hell Phoenixes into his sleeve. Then, he jumped into the Netherworld and searched for the 6 Paths insignia. Soon he found the Hidden Sect Island. After entering the island, the Black Hell Demon Lord immediately welcomed him. "Sect Master." Before he finished speaking, Hanju waved his hand and released the 7 Black Hell Phoenixes. When fellow clansmen met, it was truly tearful. Hanju ignored them and walked away alone. As he did, he asked in his mind, "If I bring out the Cultivate diligently become a mortal mountain, can the Tao field cover the entire island?" The Tao field could not be moved. It was already tied to the Cultivate Diligently Become Immortal mountain, but he did not know if it could expand. Yes, follow new episodes on the light novel world. Com platform. A word appeared in front of Hanju, making him satisfied. He first observed the hidden sect island. It was still desolate, but there was no Inchi here. It was probably related to the array formation set up by the Black Hell Demon Lord. 5 minutes later, Hanju moved the Cultivate Diligently Become Immortal mountain out, and placed it in the mountains. The hidden sect disciples under the Fusang tree suddenly felt the sky darken. Immediately after, the ground shook. When they saw Hanju and the Black Hell Demon Lord, they flew down the mountain and wandered around. This is the Netherworld. It's indeed dark without the sun. What about the reroll world? The Jade Pure Sacred Sect didn't come. From now on, we're members of the Netherworld. Ha ha ha. If the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor returns, he will definitely die of anger. The disciples were all excited. After all, this was their first time coming to the Netherworld. Xing Hongxian, Fairy Shixian, and Chang Yuer, who were in seclusion, also walked out of their cave abode and looked around in shock. Hanju came to the Fusang tree and probed it with his divine sense. Soon, he was pleasantly surprised to find that the Fusang tree could absorb the qi of the Netherworld and convert it into immortal qi. It was indeed a divine tree. This time, Hanju was completely relaxed. He could ignore the immeasurable calamity. With the Fusang tree around, he was not afraid that the immortal qi and spirit qi of the Cultivate Diligently Become Immortal mountain would suddenly stop. He opened the Dao field and covered the entire hidden sect island. Xing Hongxian flew to his side and asked curiously, "Is this the Netherworld?" Hanju nodded and smiled. "If you die in the future, it's also convenient for you to reincarnate here." Xing Hongxian. She looked at him bitterly and snorted. "So what if your potential is good? We mortals can also reach the peak of cultivation." "Yes, work hard. I'll wait." "Where's the Jade Pure Sacred Sect? Have you already thrown them away?" Visit to Light Novel World. Discover new novels. No, the entire mortal world is hidden in the depths of my soul. Xing Hongxian was shocked. She knew that Hanju was very strong, but his attack still exceeded her expectations. He absorbed the world into his soul. Xing Hongxian suddenly felt inferior. She was too weak. She was really not worthy of Hanju. In the past she could still offer treasures, but now, she could only enjoy the benefits Hanju brought. Sigh. Xing Hongxian was worried. She looked up and asked, "Can reincarnation really grant good potential?" Hanju hesitated for a moment and then said, "Not necessarily. There are very few prodigies, but good potential can help make rapid progress." Xing Hongxian fell silent and left on her own. Hanju didn't think too much about it. To him, the life and death of mortals was no longer true life and death. The life and death of immortals depended on the soul. If his soul was still around, his body would recover sooner or later. Without a soul, the body was only a shell, like the victorious fighting Buddha. Of course, it didn't matter if Xing Hongxian reincarnated or not. At most, Hanju would provide for her. Although he hadn't truly reached the undying realm, providing for a woman was not difficult. It could even be said to be easy. Fairy Shixian and Chang Yuer also came to find him. They chatted for a while before leaving after witnessing Hanju's power. The two girls were as shocked as Xing Hongxian. Chang Yuer didn't even dare to joke with him anymore. Although Hanju felt a little regretful about this, he had no choice. He was too strong. Cultivation was a process that took a long time. After not seeing him for a long time, they discovered that the other party's cultivation far exceeded their imagination. If it was Hanju, his mentality would also change. This was also good. It could stimulate them to cultivate diligently. Hanju returned to the Khanate cave abode and started cultivating. In the void, the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor flew quickly with a sinister smile on his face. The thought of Hanju trembling in front of him and kneeling down to beg for mercy made him extremely comfortable. For more novel, visit Light Novel World. No one he wanted to kill could survive. The Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor immediately accelerated. After a long time, he finally arrived at the void where the reroll world was. He suddenly stopped and frowned. Why had this world disappeared? The great freedom golden crow divine emperor raised his right hand and waved it. The true sun flame surged in front of him and quickly transformed into a huge mirror. The scene of Hanju absorbing the reroll world appeared in the mirror. The great freedom golden crow divine emperor frowned even harder as he muttered, "This fellow took the entire mortal world away? Damn it!" The great freedom golden crow divine emperor was furious. His terrifying aura shook the void. "No matter where you run to, I will definitely kill you. Just you wait. You have already completely infuriated me. I will skin you alive and pull out all your bones. I will refine your soul into pills. I will let you taste the pain and torture that even immortal emperors can't endure." The golden crow divine emperor roared. His voice pierced through the heavens and directly entered Hanju's ears. Other than him, no one else heard him. This was a strange and domineering mystical power. Hanju was in the midst of cultivating, but he did not open his eyes. He was furious. "Great. You've completely infuriated me." Hanju had never had such strong killing intent. The great freedom golden crow divine emperor had to die. Then, Hanju closed his eyes and continued cultivating. The current him was not strong enough to kill the other party, but as long as he was given time, he would be able to do it sooner or later. Hanju sped up the absorption of the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus. If the rank 2 immortal emperor realm was not enough, then he would advance to rank 3. If rank 3 was not enough, then rank 4. Perhaps the great freedom golden crow divine emperor would die before Hanju could even make a move. The source of this chapter, Light Novel World. Of course, curses were unavoidable during this process. Read at Wuxia World. EU. Time passed. 50 years passed by. After Hanju led the reroll world to hide in the netherworld realm, he was no longer disturbed. The great freedom golden crow divine emperor did not find this place either. His cultivation level was also increasing. Everyone from the hidden sect began to cultivate diligently, but the living beings of the reroll world did not realize that they were already in the netherworld. After the white-robed Buddha became an immortal emperor, he stopped cultivating and began to travel the world. As he preached the Tao, he spread rumors that people should not ascend. He wanted to create the next immortal world here. The white-robed Buddha felt that this was a good opportunity. Every time the immeasurable calamity occurred, the immortal world would suffer heavy losses, and even all living beings would be purged. In the past, the immortal world was tens of thousands of times larger than now. However, because of the immeasurable calamity, countless experts fought and caused the immortal world to shatter. Only this much was left. Of course, even if it was only 1 in 10,000, it was still extremely vast. Even an immortal emperor could not travel the entire immortal world in an instant. Inside the Khanate cave abode, Hanju opened his eyes and took out the Book of Misfortune to curse the great freedom golden crow divine emperor. Every 10 years, he would curse the great freedom golden crow divine emperor for 10 days. He didn't believe that the great freedom chi could protect him forever. Hanju cursed as he checked his emails regularly. Your good friend Sword God Emperor was attacked by a golden-winged rock and was severely injured. Your good friend Jiang Yi was attacked by your good friend Divine General. He was severely injured. Your grand disciple Feng Liang was attacked by demons, X139822. Your good friend Heavenly Emperor was attacked by a mighty figure. Your good friend Mo Zhu accidentally entered the primordial secret sect. Your good friend Meng Po was attacked by the demon race's immortal emperor and died. Fortunately, her main body revived her. Your good friend Long Shan was attacked by a demon saint X5. Your good friend Huang Jihao was attacked by heavenly troops, X380244. Hanju continued reading and felt even more glad. Fortunately, he did not go to the heavenly court. Otherwise, he would have been beaten as well. New chapters are published on Light Novel World. He only hoped that his friends were fine, especially the heavenly emperor. If he couldn't win, he would hide. Hanju noticed that Huang Jihao was actually standing opposite the heavenly court, and even killed the heavenly troops to level up. It was simply, sigh. Everyone had their own choices. Hanju couldn't judge from himself as long as it didn't threaten him. 10 days later, Hanju was about to curse the demon emperor when he suddenly saw an email. Your enemy Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor has developed mental demons because of your curse. Hanju was pleasantly surprised. You finally developed a mental demon. Tell me, how do you feel now? Hanju was in a good mood. I'll worsen your mental demons in the next 10 years. Hanju thought to himself, and continued cursing the demon emperor. He couldn't leave the demon emperor in Golden Rock behind. Numinous Palace. Sitting on the throne, the heavenly emperor revealed a rare look of exhaustion. There were only 2 immortals in the hall, Ditaibai and a heavenly general in silver armor. This heavenly general was not as domineering as the martial god general. His figure was not considered strong, but he emitted an indescribable invincible aura. The leader of the 3 great generals, the heavenly god general, Ditaibai asked, Your Majesty, have you calculated it? The heavenly emperor said, I calculated it. They're all very safe. They're hiding somewhere to cultivate. Ditaibai heaved a sigh of relief. This time, the heavenly court has indeed lost. Next, defend with all your might. The gods are not allowed to leave. The heavenly emperor stood up and instructed. Lost. New novel chapters are published here. Light Novel World. Calm. This word made Ditaibai extremely helpless. The heavenly god general frowned slightly, but he did not say anything. How arrogant was the heavenly emperor. To make him admit defeat. One could imagine how strong the demons were now. The heavenly emperor looked at the heavenly god general and said, I asked you to guard the South Heaven Gate. This gate cannot be taken down, even if you die. Are you willing to accept the order? The heavenly god general cupped his fists and said in a low voice, As long as a breath remains, I won't let a demon soldier step over the South Heaven Gate. The heavenly emperor waved his hand, signaling the 2 immortals to leave. When only he was left in the hall, he slowly sat down. His entire mental state seemed to have aged 10 years. The heavenly emperor looked up at the sky outside the hall and muttered, The person facing the calamity has yet to appear. But the heavenly court has already lost. Perhaps Tao Ancestor is right. The golden age of the heavenly court is not with me, but in the future. Outside the immortal world, on an immortal island, inside the Taoist temple, Huang Zuantian knelt behind a group of disciples with a frown. The immeasurable calamity has begun. This is a good opportunity for the Jie school to rise again. If the Jie school wins the final victory, we will be the overlords of the next era. A middle-aged cultivator in front of the statue said excitedly. His fists were clenched and his tone was fanatical. The disciples kneeling in front of him had the same expression. The Jie school was about to rise. The Jie school was about to revive. The Jie school was going to dominate the world. Only Huang Zuantian frowned. Damn it, can't these guys cultivate properly? It's so dangerous outside, thought Huang Zuantian as he gritted his teeth. He listened to Hanju's instructions and hid in the Jie school. The immortal island he was on was only one of the myriad immortal islands of the Jie school. After joining the sect, his worldview had been shattered. The Jie school was really filled with experts. He was increasingly grateful for Hanju's arrangements. If he stayed in the Jie school, he would definitely be able to surpass the immortals and become a mighty figure who transcended life and death. However, the island master, who was also his master, actually wanted to lead them into the calamity. Visit Light Novel World. Com. For the best novel reading experience courting death. Upon seeing the island master, Huang Zuantian seemed to see the elders of the Raincoat sect. They often felt that the opportunity to rise was coming, and started to provoke enemies everywhere. Huang Zuantian's reverence for the island master vanished. At this moment, he even had the crazy ambition to eliminate him. However, this was the Jie school, not the mortal world. The difference in strength was too great. He was the weakest among the disciples. How could he obtain the position of island master? No. I have to think of a way. Otherwise I'll really die. Huang Zuantian thought to himself. He had read many ancient texts. The more he learned about the immeasurable calamity, the more shocked he became. No matter how powerful an existence was, as long as they entered the calamity, they would definitely die. Those mighty figures who had stood out from the immeasurable calamity were all cultivating in a low-profile manner. They would come out to end the calamity when it was about to end and seize the providence of the world. Their names would spread throughout the ages and remain immortal forever. With the teachings of history here, why did the madmen of the Jie school still have to enter the calamity? Huang Zuantian couldn't understand. He began to think about how to stay on the island. He had to stay behind first before he could seize the position. In the vast void, a huge three-legged golden crow sat. It was the great freedom golden crow divine emperor. He had just swallowed a mortal world and was consuming it. Hearing the wails of all living beings coming from his stomach, the divine emperor's eyes were filled with joy. He enjoyed the feeling of controlling the life and death of all living beings the most. This was the goal of becoming stronger, controlling all living beings in the palm of his hand, using the heavenly Tao as a stepping stone. However, when he thought of Hanju, anger surged in his heart. Where's that damn dog hiding? Because Hanju had directly jumped into the netherworld, the great freedom golden crow divine emperor could not use his mystical power to track him. Follow current novel on Light Novel World. Calm at this moment, a figure descended in front of him. It was Jiang Yi. Jiang Yi revealed his true body and said expressionlessly, I heard that you're looking for the reroll world's guardian? He's a junior that I like. Give me some face and don't chase after him anymore. Read at Wuxia World. EU. The Golden Crow Divine Emperor looked down at Jiang Yi and smiled disdainfully. Give you face? Jiang Yi, who do you think you are? The Golden Crow Divine Emperor looked down at Jiang Yi and smiled disdainfully. Give you face? Jiang Yi, who do you think you are? If not for the fact that we are separated by generations, would you be worthy of being the #1 prodigy of the Golden Crow Divine Clan? If you were of the same generation as me, your Tao heart would have long been crushed by me. Jiang Yi was furious. He took out a token and said coldly, This is the token of the demon venerable. It can command the entire clan. I order you now to not pester Hanju anymore. The true sun flame on the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's body surged violently and quickly condensed into a human figure after transforming. The great freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor walked towards Jiang Yi step by step. His gaze was cold as he revealed a sinister smile. The demon venerable also wants to care about me? After I reach the deity realm, the next leader of the Golden Crow Divine Clan will be me. Jiang Yi, you're too arrogant. Since you want to plead for mercy for the guardian of the reroll world, you can die too. I'll let you taste pain on his behalf first. The Golden Crow Divine Emperor laughed wildly, his tone filled with killing intent. He charged towards Jiang Yi. Jiang Yi's expression changed drastically. He took out a sword with his right hand and immediately fought. I'm the strongest prodigy in the history of the Golden Crow Divine Clan. Jiang Yi roared in his heart. He was also infuriated by the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's arrogance. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? Time passed slowly. Another 20 years passed by. Hanju felt the beauty of life again. Without the threat of powerful enemies, he could cultivate in peace. The peace and serenity caused his cultivation speed to increase greatly. In addition to the negative karma of the 36th grade reincarnation world destruction Black Lotus, Hanju was getting closer and closer to becoming a rank 3 immortal emperor. While his cultivation increased, Hanju's physique also became stronger. Under the development of the heavenly cycle body tempering technique, even Hanju himself felt that the stellar primordial body was becoming more and more terrifying. It would simply be unimaginable when he stepped into the deity realm. 10 years passed. Hanju took out the Book of Misfortune and continued cursing the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor, the Demon Emperor, and Golden Rock Demon Lord. While cursing, he checked his emails. New chapters are published on Light Novel World. He suddenly saw an email and frowned. Your good friend Jiang Yi was attacked by your enemy Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. He died and his Tao dissipated. A trace of his soul was preserved by his ancestors. Fighting among fellow clansmen? Hanju suddenly thought of a possibility. Could it be that Jiang Yi was attacked by the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor? No. That fellow was so arrogant. Hanju frowned. He was in a bad mood. He checked his interpersonal relationships and heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that Jiang Yi's portrait was still there. He was dead but not completely. Fortunately, it had to be said that the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor was truly too savage. Han Ju's eyes were firm. He had to think of a way to kill the Golden Crow Divine Emperor. Otherwise his Dao heart would be damaged. A month later, Han Ju entered the simulation trial. Unfortunately, he still couldn't defeat the Golden Crow Divine Emperor. He had to cultivate more. Just as Han Ju was sighing, Dao Comprehension Sword walked into the cave abode and stopped in front of him. Hao wants to see you. Han Ju opened his eyes and said, "Let him in." Dao Comprehension Sword immediately sent a message. Recently, Long Hao's cultivation speed had increased greatly. Something was wrong. Soon, Long Hao quickly knelt down in front of Han Ju and said respectfully, "Master, I often dream when I cultivate recently. In my dreams, a mysterious person is teaching me a mystical power, but I can't see his true appearance. He was an immortal god. How could he dream? It was too abnormal." Visit lightnovelworld.com. For the best novel reading experience. Han Ju narrowed his eyes. As expected, Hao Tian had begun to make his move. Han Ju had always been wary of him. This strongest heavenly emperor was clearly up to something. "Other than teaching you the mystical power, is there anything else?" Han Ju asked. Long Hao gritted his teeth and hesitated for a moment before saying, "He said that I'm someone who will face the calamity. I'll overturn the myriad worlds and slaughter the heavenly court. But I'm the son of the heavenly emperor. How can I?" He was terrified. He had also heard a lot about the immeasurable calamity from the Black Hell Demon Lord and Sun Chang'an. It was said that when the calamity developed to the extreme, all living beings would be controlled by negative karma, unable to control themselves and sink into slaughter. He was afraid that he would do the same. Han Ju consoled, "It's fine. As long as you stay here, you won't be in trouble." Wait. Han Ju suddenly thought of something and felt uneasy. If something happened to Long Hao's family, would he want to go to the immortal world? Currently, the heavenly court was facing danger. There was no guarantee that something would happen. Did Hao Tian predict this moment to bewitch Long Hao? When Long Hao heard Han Ju's words, he immediately felt much better. He trusted him the most. Han Ju's status in his heart was even higher than the heavenly emperor. After all, he had never seen the heavenly emperor since he was born. The heavenly emperor had only seen him twice in the few years he was in the heavenly court. Long Hao felt a little sad every time he thought of this. He knew that he still had many brothers and sisters who worked under the heavenly emperor. Han Ju said, "Ignore the person in the dream and don't cultivate his mystical power." Long Hao nodded. Then, Han Ju began to preach the Tao to him, wanting to negate Hao Tian's influence. Long Hao left after a month. Not long after he left, Tu Linger came in next. "Master, can I leave Hidden Sect Island? I want to go to the Netherworld. I feel something calling me." Tu Linger asked expectantly. Han Ju immediately rejected it. "No. If you leave, you won't be my disciple anymore." You can find the rest of this content on the Light Novel World.com platform. Tu Linger, the reincarnated Grand Magus, was definitely bewitched by the Magus race. The calamity had arrived. Han Ju couldn't be bothered with Mengpa. He only hoped that Tu Linger wouldn't cause trouble for him and expose the whereabouts of Hidden Sect Island. Even someone as strong as Meng Pa would be attacked from time to time. If Tu Linger went out, she would definitely ask for help. Tu Linger immediately felt wronged. Han Ju said seriously, "The immeasurable calamity has started. Once you leave, the Hidden Sect might face a calamity because of you. The Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor is still looking for us. Do you really want to get us all killed?" Tu Linger hurriedly shook her head in fear, not daring to say that she wanted to go out. Then, Han Ju taught her a mystical power and let her leave. Dao Comprehension Sword sat on her mat and sighed. "Master, is this the calamity? It's bewitching us to go out?" "Good, you finally understood. Don't worry. No matter what, I won't go out." "Good girl." Han Ju smiled in satisfaction. The people in the entire Hidden Sect that made him the least worried were the Black Hell Chicken, Li Yao, and Dao Comprehension Sword. In fact, The three of them were afraid of being chased out. Then, Hanju closed his eyes and continued cultivating. Next, he wanted to break through to the rank 3 Immortal Emperor realm. When he reached this realm, he might be able to fight the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. Year after year passed. Another 50 years went by. In the midst of cultivating, Hanju seemed to sense something and suddenly opened his eyes. Oh, why is he looking for me? Hanju closed his eyes again and jumped into the chaotic domain. The chaotic domain was a place that Hanju entered when he became an emperor. Only the chaotic physique could enter it. Divine Palace's Tao Sovereign said that he had something to talk about. Seeing Hanju appear, Tao Sovereign said, "Fellow Taoist, do you dare to join forces with me to kill the Demon Emperor?" New chapters are published on Light Novel World. Come read at Wuxia World. EU. Join forces to kill the Demon Emperor? Join forces to kill the Demon Emperor? Is he crazy? Hanju felt that Tao Sovereign wanted to trick him. The Demon Court suppressed the Heavenly Court, the Divine Palace, and the Buddhist sect. What right did a genius of the Divine Palace have to say that he wanted to kill the Demon Emperor? Hanju asked, "Where did you get your confidence from?" Tao Sovereign said, "The Demon Emperor has already gone demonic. He seems to have become stronger, but he has actually let down his guard. He definitely won't expect anyone to dare to ambush him when he's showing off." Was it your idea, or the Divine Palace's? Is there a difference? I'm afraid that the Divine Palace will trick me. Did the Divine Palace offend you? My good brother Zhang Guxing was imprisoned by you guys. Oh, you and Zhang Guxing are sworn brothers? I guess. Hanju was ambiguous. In case the Divine Palace used Zhang Guxing to threaten him. Tao Sovereign fell silent. Hanju said, "It's too dangerous to kill the Demon Emperor. I'm afraid of death." Forget it. He must be joking. The Demon Emperor had a 6-star hatred towards him. He would die if he approached him. Tao Sovereign said, "You and I both have the chaotic physique. I have a way to deceive them. We will have a chance as long as we approach the Demon Emperor. I have a supreme treasure with me that can definitely take the Demon Emperor's life." Forget it, forget it. I'm really afraid. Tao Sovereign flicked his sleeve in anger. If it was any other genius, they would definitely be extremely excited. This was a good opportunity to become famous. Tao Sovereign suppressed his anger and said, "If we can kill the Demon Emperor, both of us can obtain great providence. Becoming a Zenith Heaven in the future is not an extravagant hope." Updated at Light Novel World. Zenith Heaven. He claimed that this would allow them to reach Zenith Heaven the moment he opened his mouth. If news of this spread, it would definitely attract disbelief. However, Tao Sovereign had a chaotic physique. He was the only one in the entire immortal world. He indeed had the right to say that. As for Hanju, he actually didn't have the chaotic physique. He had the even stronger primordial physique. The calamity is about to arrive. It's best for us to stay out of it. With our potential, we can clearly keep a low profile and cultivate. Why should we interfere in this? Our era is not the present but the future. Hanju advised seriously. If the Tao Sovereign died in the calamity, Hanju would have no opponent after that. That would be very lonely. Tao Sovereign shook his head. Forget it. Don't spread this matter. With that said, he vanished into the chaotic domain. Hanju didn't think too much, and his consciousness returned to his body. He wasn't tempted by the Tao Sovereign's invitation at all. This fellow didn't even have a favorable impression of him. So how could he trust such a guy? He continued to cultivate. Another 10 years past. Hanju had just finished cursing the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor and Golden Rock Demon Lord when he began cursing the Demon Emperor. He started checking his emails. Because of your curse, the mental demon of your enemy Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor has grown greatly. His soul has been invaded by the negative karma of the world. Because of your curse, your enemy Golden Rock Demon Lord's soul trembled, and his cultivation declined. Hanju smiled in satisfaction. Heaven did not let down those who worked hard. As long as he was willing to work hard, results would definitely appear. Hanju looked forward to seeing the three of them cursed to death. Currently, he did not have many enemies. It shouldn't involve too much karma. It was just that this was the first time he experienced the immeasurable calamity, so Hanju was still very nervous. For more novel, visit Light Novel World. Calm 5 days after cursing the demon emperor, Hanju stood up and walked out of the cave abode to teach the hidden sect disciples. Apart from cultivation, what he had to do was nurture his disciples. When the calamity affected the netherworld, he would at least have helpers. The sun and moon did not rise in the netherworld, nor did the 4 seasons change. Hidden Sect Island was forever in darkness. Ada and Xiao'er also did not dare to emit light to avoid exposing the Hidden Sect Island's location. Time passed silently. The netherworld was always dark, as if it had been abandoned by the heavenly Tao. Very few ghosts flew past the sky above the island. Very few would step into the yellow spring. Once they did, even Zenith Heaven experts could not save them. No one knew what was deep in the yellow spring. They only knew that once they fell, they would disappear forever. Hanju was also worried that the yellow spring water would drown Hidden Sect Island, but after a long period of observation, the Khanate restriction on Hidden Sect Island was very stable. It could make the island shrink and float on the yellow spring sea. It was really safe here. Safer than staying in the reroll world. In order to promote positive competition in the Hidden Sect, Hanju decided to hold the Hidden Sect competition that happened once every 100 years. All disciples could participate and decide the ranking, including Hanju. He mainly wanted to suppress the Black Hell Demon Lord and the White-Robed Buddha to prevent them from getting overconfident. The first Hidden Sect competition would be held 100 years later. The disciples still had time to prepare. Hearing that there would be a ranking, the disciples of the Hidden Sect were all excited. Even Sun Chang'an of the Buddhist lineage did not want his junior to surpass him. The 8 Han brothers were ridiculously talented. Perhaps they could catch up to Li Yao and Long Hao at some point. Morongqi had even awakened the war god inheritance. His strength was greater than his cultivation realm. Now that all the disciples had displayed their talent, Hanju was looking forward to the future of the Hidden Sect. 17 years later, Hanju's Heavenly Tao token suddenly became hot. He took it out and threw it aside. Then he used his divine sense to probe the reroll world in the primordial world. What was the white-robed Buddha doing now? After observing for a while, Hanju finally figured it out. The white-robed Buddha split into thousands of clones and walked the world, preaching to all living beings. From Grand Unity Earth immortals to mortal farmers, everyone could hear his preaching. The latest episodes are on the Light Novel World.com website. Everyone knew that the Tao techniques of the Chan school had become common in just a few decades. Hanju was caught between laughter and tears. If the Chan school knew, what would their reaction be? It was a good thing to preach, but after the masses spread it, it would no longer be impressive. Over time, people would feel that the Chan school was inferior to other sections. However, the Chan school had nothing to do with Hanju, so he couldn't be bothered to stop it. The stronger the reroll world was, the better in any case. It was impossible for the other mortal worlds to find him now. As if sensing Hanju's divine sense, the white-robed Buddha suddenly opened his eyes and said, "Sect Master, I have something to ask of you." Hanju's divine sense locked onto him and asked, "What is it?" "Because of the reroll world, the Chan school has targeted me." "The Chan school is coming to find trouble with you?" "Perhaps, but they don't dare to go to the netherworld." "Don't you have a good relationship with the Heavenly Emperor?" "He has a good relationship with the Chan school." "Can you ask him to restrain them?" "Why would the Heavenly Emperor help you?" "I'm confident that I can nurture the reroll world into a second immortal world. Instead of fighting for the immortal world, why don't the Heavenly Court create the next immortal world themselves?" The white-robed Buddha said confidently. Hanju said bluntly, "What makes you so confident?" The white-robed Buddha replied, "I'm proficient in the Buddhist and Chan methods. I've even traveled the immortal world and grasped countless inheritances. It's enough to turn the reroll world into the next immortal world. At that time, the providence of the Heavenly Court and the reroll world will fuse together. Their providence will definitely increase greatly. We're in the netherworld. The Chan school can't deduce our existence. But I'm afraid that someone will come and investigate me. They will know that the reroll world is rapidly growing and develop ill intentions. Fine. Hanju agreed. The white-robed Buddha had indeed done well. If not for him, the reroll world would not have such a grand occasion. Hanju retracted his consciousness and chased Tao comprehension, soared out of the Khanate cave abode. Then he called the Heavenly Emperor. However, after 2 hours, the Heavenly Emperor still did not reply. Did something happen to the Heavenly Court? Hanju frowned. New novel chapters are published here, Light Novel World. He felt uneasy. Read at Wuxia World. EU. Hanju started to read the emails, wanting to see how the Heavenly Emperor was doing. Hanju started to read the emails, wanting to see how the Heavenly Emperor was doing. Soon he caught a piece of news. Your good friend Heavenly Emperor was attacked by a mighty figure and was trapped by a mysterious forbidden array. The Heavenly Emperor was suppressed? Hanju frowned. To be honest, the Heavenly Emperor treated him very well. Be it for public or private reasons, he did not want anything to happen to him. He could only silently pray that the Heavenly Emperor was blessed. With his current strength, he couldn't save the other party at all. A mighty figure, who could suppress the Heavenly Emperor, was definitely a terrifying existence that surpassed the immortal Emperor realm. Hanju sighed and continued cultivating. In a dark valley, Ji Xianxian was meditating and cultivating. A strange red aura circled around his body, and a figure floated above his head. Only his upper body was like a ghost. The ghost looked down at him and smiled in satisfaction. You can already leave the netherworld. Even in the immortal world, you can dominate an area. Ji Xianxian's eyes did not open as he said, It's not enough. Didn't you say that the calamity has already begun? It'll be very dangerous if I go out now. For some reason, he would think of Hanju every time he was about to become arrogant. He always felt that Hanju was stronger than him. If he couldn't surpass Hanju, how could he fight for first place? He firmly believed that Hanju would be the greatest obstacle in his path to invincibility. Danger is danger, but this is also an opportunity. How many mighty figures fight for providence in the calamity and stand out? The ghost figure said seriously, You can't hide whenever you want in the calamity. You can't enter during the late stage of the calamity. By then, without great providence, it's very difficult for you to withstand the overwhelming negative karma. At that time, just the negative karma will be enough to make you suffer from chi deviation. Hearing this, Ji Xianxian slowly opened his eyes and frowned. The ghost continued, There's a divine weapon in the netherworld. Do you dare to snatch it? Ji Xianxian asked, Is it very strong? It can shock the world, making ghosts and gods weep. You can find the rest of this content on the Light Novel World. Platform. Where? Xidagarba Palace. Is it dangerous? Are you afraid? Ji Xian stood up. He couldn't be rash. Lead the way. Hee. All right. 5 years later, in the midst of cultivating, Hanju suddenly opened his eyes. He felt a powerful aura on the mountain. Tulinger. He immediately flashed out and appeared next to the Fusang tree. At this moment, Tulinger was wrapped by a huge red egg and could not move. Hanju came in front of the red egg and probed with his divine sense. He felt a very strong restriction that isolated his divine sense. Even the divine sense of an immortal emperor could not penetrate it. Han once said, She just broke through to the grand unity heaven immortal realm, and that happened. The others followed suit. Does Linger also have a powerful background in her previous life? What a terrifying aura. Who is she? Does she have the bloodline of a demon beast? No, her bloodline is even more terrifying. She looks to be from an ancient race. What's an ancient race? The first group of races that appeared after the world was created. Hearing everyone's chatter, Hanju didn't speak and stared at Tulinger. The latest episodes are on the Light Novel World. Website. The Black Hell Demon Lord walked to his side and asked in a low voice, You know her background? There's great karma. Clearly, the Black Hell Demon Lord had already guessed Tulinger's background. Hanju replied, It's fine. I will always restrain her and prevent her from leaving the island. The Black Hell Demon Lord clicked his tongue in wonder. If she can really survive this calamity, She will become a mighty figure of the immortal world and dominate a realm. The others were moved. This was the first time the Black Hell Demon Lord had such a high opinion of someone. Perhaps, Hanju said perfunctorily. Before long, the red egg began to absorb the immortal chi of the Cultivate diligently become immortal mountain. The absorption speed became faster and faster, forming a visible whirlwind. Hanju waved his right hand and brought Tu Linger into the Khanate cave abode. The others dispersed and continued cultivating. In the cave abode, Hanju meditated and poured dermic powers into Tu Linger. He wanted to help her and increase her cultivation. Dao Comprehension Sword sized her up curiously and couldn't help but ask about her background. Hanju didn't hide anything from her. Dao Comprehension Sword was dumbfounded. Reincarnation of a Grand Magus. She was related to Mengpa, who controlled reincarnation. Indeed, my foundation is the worst, Dao Comprehension Sword thought bitterly. Hanju saw through her thoughts but didn't say anything. There was no denying the truth. Only by recognizing reality could she go further. Time passed. Tu Linger finally woke up after a few days. The red egg dissipated into mist, and she landed on the ground. At this moment, Tu Linger was no longer as beautiful as before. Her body was covered in strange black scales, and her limbs were like sharp claws. Her body was strong, and her face was ugly and sinister. On her head were hard horns that were like branches. For more novel, visit Light Novel World. Dao Comprehension Sword was shocked. She thought that Tu Linger had been possessed. However, Hanju knew that this was the true body of the Grand Magus. Tu Linger's aura had completely changed. It was no longer the aura of a mortal, but a desolate and ferocious ancient aura. Grand Magus. Her body and bloodline had completely transformed into a Grand Magus, containing a terrifying power that could be seen with the naked eye. Most importantly, Tu Linger's cultivation level had jumped to the perfected Grand Unity Heaven Immortal Realm. She was only a step away from the true Immortal Realm. Tu Linger sized up her body, and then transformed into her previous gentle and beautiful appearance. She knelt in front of Hanju and said excitedly, "Master, thank you for your help." She felt Hanju's vast dermic powers when she awakened her bloodline. When she opened her eyes and saw Hanju, she understood what had happened. Hanju said, "Do you know your background now?" Tu Linger nodded. "I've obtained the inherited memories. The Magus race hopes that I can save them." Hanju said calmly, "Don't go out for the time being. It's very dangerous recently." "I understand. I think so too. Anyway, I don't have much feelings for the Magus race." Tu Linger said this very casually, making Hanju feel that she was serious. He couldn't help but mourn for Mengpa. Although Tu Linger might have let down the Magus race, Hanju was very satisfied. He didn't want to take any risks. Hanju chatted with Tu Linger for a while, and then let her leave. Dao Comprehension Sword did not say anything, and immediately started cultivating. It was obvious that she was stimulated by Tu Linger. After Tu Linger transformed into a Grand Magus, her combat strength soared. Even the Black Hell Phoenix at the Grand Unity True Immortal Realm was not her match. The other hidden sect disciples also began to cultivate seriously, including Morongqi. Morongqi had already awakened his memories of his previous life. He had thought that if he cultivated step by step, he would return to his peak sooner or later. But now, it seemed that just the peak was not enough. His fellow disciples were too talented, giving him immense pressure. 10 years later, Hanju put down the Book of Misfortune and was about to continue cultivating when he suddenly felt a powerful divine sense sweep across Hidden Sect Island. His heart skipped a beat. Updated at Light Novel World. Calm this divine sense. Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. This fellow actually found me in the Netherworld. Read at Wuxia World. EU. Hanju couldn't help but become nervous when the Golden Crow Divine Emperor attacked. Hanju couldn't help but become nervous when the Golden Crow Divine Emperor attacked. He wasn't the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's match for the time being. Just as Hanju was feeling nervous, the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's divine sense vanished. Did he not notice me? Hanju suddenly remembered that the Dao field could block divine sense. Now that he was an immortal emperor, The Tao field had become stronger and could block the divine sense of someone at the deity realm. He was relieved. As long as the Golden Crow Divine Emperor did not directly barge into the island, he shouldn't be discovered. The hidden sect island looked big, but from the outside, it was only the tip of a reef. It was very tiny in the vast yellow spring. At the same time, the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor was still traveling above the yellow spring when he frowned. Strange, why did that fellow's aura disappear here? Did he fall into the yellow spring? The Golden Crow Divine Emperor was extremely furious. He had been looking for Han Ju for so many years, why couldn't he find him? He had a feeling that that fellow was definitely not dead. If he didn't kill Han Ju, the anger in his heart would not be appeased. Ever since he met Han Ju, he had been cursed from time to time. It was definitely that guy cursing him. The Golden Crow Divine Emperor could not figure it out, but he believed in his instincts. Curses were not rare in the immortal world. Many cultivators knew how to do it. Regarding this matter, the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor had never revealed it to anyone because he had been cursed to develop a mental demon. This was already a humiliation and could not be made known to anyone. The more the Golden Crow Divine Emperor thought about it, the more aggrieved he became. He suddenly let out a long roar. The cry of the Divine Golden Crow was extremely piercing, resounding through the netherworld. Everyone on Hidden Sect Island heard it and was shocked. In the midst of cultivating, the Black Hell Demon Lord suddenly opened his eyes in shock. Follow current novel on Light Novel World. How did he find this place? He panicked. Although he was a rank 5 immortal emperor, he wasn't the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's match. The others also panicked. Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor was the first powerful enemy that Han Ju could not defeat. He even forced them to flee. Han Ju immediately sent a voice transmission to them, telling them to calm down and not leave the island. The Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor would definitely not discover them. Everyone felt relieved. They all knew Han Ju's personality. If it was really dangerous, he would have run away without them urging. Han Ju suppressed his uneasiness and waited. This was actually good. The Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor would not come again after searching this area. The sharp cry lasted for a while before finally stopping, and the Golden Crow Divine Emperor's aura also completely dissipated. Han Ju showed a frown. This fellow was too difficult to deal with. It seemed that the Golden Crow Divine Emperor would not rest until he killed him. If one day, the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor really came knocking on his door, it would be too late for Han Ju to hide. Detected that you are in an unprecedented crisis. You have the following choices. 1. Immediately ascend and head to the immortal world. Enter the calamity and fight for providence. You can obtain a great Tao fragment and a mystical power inheritance. 2. Don't ascend for the time being. Cultivate in a low-profile manner and wait for the opportunity. You can obtain a great Tao fragment and a random natural treasure. Han Ju raised his eyebrows when he saw 3 lines of words appear in front of him. He finally had a chance to choose. Although the reward wasn't generous, it was at least there. Han Ju silently chose the second option. Follow current novel on Light Novel World. Congratulations on obtaining a natural treasure Bujo Divine Flower. Bujo Divine Flower, a primordial treasure. Born on the legendary Bujo Divine Mountain, it seizes the essence of the world and can produce boundless Khanate Chi. Han Ju immediately took it out and planted it beside the 9 Heavens Galaxy water. The 9 Heavens Galaxy water still emitted immortal Chi, but it could no longer show the situation of the Son of Heaven and Earth. Master, this is? Tao Comprehension Sword asked curiously. Han Ju gave a simple introduction. He didn't know what Khanate Chi was, so he was looking forward to it. It should be greater than immortal Chi, right? After planting the Bujo Divine Flower, Han Ju didn't cultivate immediately, but waited patiently. After half a month, after confirming that the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor had left, he heaved a sigh of relief and cultivated in peace. Time passed. About 8 years passed. The Bujo Divine Flower finally produced Khanate Chi. Furthermore, there was quite a bit. It directly erupted and filled the Khanate cave abode. Tao Comprehension Sword sensed something and opened her eyes in surprise. Hanju was shocked. This Khanate chi was so powerful. The increase in cultivation he obtained from taking a breath was equivalent to 10 breaths of immortal chi. Most importantly, Khanate chi was purer and of higher quality than immortal chi. This time, Hanju had another way to increase his cultivation speed. He continued cultivating and started to absorb the Khanate chi. However, his chi absorption speed was too fast. The Buzhou divine flower couldn't keep up. It still needed to grow for a while. Hanju wasn't disappointed. At least, there was more hope. Divine Palace. In a dark prison palace, Zhang Guxing sat on the ground, with countless sword shadows circling around him. He wore a tattered white robe and his hair was messy, but his expression was calm. He had the temperament of being composed in any situation. Outside the prison door, a figure walked out of the darkness. Visit Light Novel World. Com for a better user experience, it was a man in a luxurious robe. He played with a jade ring in his hand as he stared at Zhang Guxing with jealousy. Have you made another breakthrough recently? The robed man asked with a smile. Zhang Guxing did not answer. The robed man continued. The Divine Palace and the Demon Court have been at war for many years. The Palace Master left not long ago. In the future, I will control the Divine Palace. How do you think I should torture you? He was Yu Tianbao, who had a grudge with Zhang Guxing. Zhang Guxing replied, Your methods can't make me give in. You will only torture my body and soul. You won't be able to destroy my Tao heart. As long as I don't die, you won't be able to eat or sleep in peace. Because you know that once I leave, you will be finished. Yu Tianbao's expression darkened. This was indeed what he was most worried about. He had long wanted to kill Zhang Guxing, but there was someone above him. Even if Zhang Guxing had caused a calamity, some people still protected him from death. Yu Tianbao suddenly sneered. What if I destroy the Sword Dao River? Zhang Guxing's expression changed. I've always been curious about your relationship with the Sword Dao River. What can make you abandon your body to guard it? Yu Tianbao asked with interest. Zhang Guxing was silent. Seeing his silent attitude, Yu Tianbao was very angry. Great! He was definitely going to destroy the Sword Dao River. 40 years later, Hanju finally broke through to the rank 3 reincarnation Immortal Emperor realm. His dermic power soared and his soul transformed, becoming even stronger. After spending 3 years consolidating his cultivation, Hanju immediately started the simulation trial. Although he couldn't defeat the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor, when he was a rank 2 Immortal Emperor, at least he wouldn't be insta-killed. After reaching the rank 3 reincarnation Immortal Emperor realm, Hanju did not believe that he would still be killed. 2 hours later, Hanju opened his eyes and frowned. After fighting for 2 hours, although the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor could not kill him, he didn't injure the other party either. New chapters are published on Light Novel World. Come no way. Hanju decided to start creating a new Sword Dao mystical power. Unlike the Heavenly Sword Dao, he wanted to create an ultimate explosive mystical power that could instantly kill the Golden Crow Divine Emperor. Read at Wuxia World. EU. A huge amount of memories surged into his mind, almost catching up to the memory impact, when he had comprehended the primordial chaos reincarnation Great Tao. At the same time, the sky of the immortal world and the myriad worlds were filled with purple light. It was the same for the reroll world. When everyone could see again, they were immediately attracted by the purple light in the sky. Everyone was in an uproar. Immortal world above the 9 heavens. The master of the Divine Palace walked on the cloud court, with dozens of disciples behind him. He couldn't help but frown when purple light suddenly appeared in the sky. This is the aura of the deity realm. No, someone is comprehending a deity realm mystical power. The master of the Divine Palace muttered with a solemn expression. He sensed that the other party was not from the Divine Palace, or the immortal world. Instead, Netherworld. Could it be that the Netherworld was also about to enter the calamity? A disciple couldn't help but ask, Palace Master, what does this mean? The master of the Divine Palace said, he might be the person meant to face the calamity. The person meant to face the calamity. All the disciples were shocked. The immeasurable calamity had already begun. but the person facing the calamity had yet to appear. Many even thought that the demon emperor was the person facing the calamity. The master of the divine palace had a solemn expression. The current demon court was unstoppable, but they had no one who could face the calamity. What did this mean? He didn't dare to think about it. Demon Court, Demon Emperor Palace. This content is taken from Light Novel World. Calm in the midst of meditating, the demon emperor suddenly opened his eyes and frowned at the purple firmament outside the hall. He had also deduced that someone was comprehending a mystical power, and that it came from the netherworld, but he couldn't guess who it was. Very good. Netherworld, it seems that you also want to interfere, the demon emperor muttered. Now that the demon court was flourishing and the netherworld had a sudden movement, the pressure on the demon emperor naturally increased. The demon court seemed to be fighting against the heavenly court, the Buddhist sect, and the divine palace alone. But in fact, it was extremely difficult and could collapse at any moment. The various ancient races were all ambitious. If the demon emperor wasn't careful, he might be abandoned by them. The demon emperor couldn't sit still. He stood up and quickly left the hall. The phenomenon caused by Hanju alerted the various major forces in the immortal world. However, because the Tao field isolated them, and Hanju cultivated a karma mystical power, no one guessed that it was him. After a long time, Hanju woke up and slowly opened his eyes, causing a terrifying light to burst out. What a domineering mystical power. Wonderful. Detected that this is your first time creating a deity realm mystical power. You have the following choices. 1. Immediately ascend and use this mystical power to stun the immortal world. You can obtain a mystical power inheritance. 2. Cultivate in a low-profile manner and stay away from trouble. You can obtain a supreme treasure. Hanju chose the second option without hesitation. Congratulations on obtaining the Emperor Tao Supreme Treasure Golden Seal Domain Blood Belt. Golden Seal Domain Blood Belt. Defensive Emperor Tao Supreme Treasure. It automatically absorbs heaven and earth chi. When its owner is attacked, it can automatically defend against attacks. It can withstand the full-powered attack of a rank 9 immortal emperor at best. Defensive Supreme Treasure. Awesome. Hanju smiled in satisfaction and touched his chin in thought. Let's call it unparalleled sword chi. Hanju smiled very satisfied and felt that he was a genius at naming. Tao Comprehension Sword couldn't help but ask, what's unparalleled sword chi? A mystical power? Yes. How is the name? The source of this chapter, Light Novel World. Calm Ordinary. What? It's too good. Hanju snorted and started the simulation trial against the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. 10 minutes later, Hanju opened his eyes and frowned. Although this mystical power was powerful, it couldn't instantly kill the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. The reason was that the difference in cultivation realm was too great. However, Hanju could still kill the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor by constantly using unparalleled sword chi. But the problem was, 10 minutes was too long. Hanju looked pained. No, this was a failure. Hanju decided to continue comprehending the mystical power and raise all the other Sword Tao mystical powers to their current limits. In the next 4 years, phenomena of purple clouds filling the sky appeared in the myriad worlds. Everyone realized that the person facing the calamity was coming. Furthermore, this person was extremely powerful. To be able to easily create a deity realm mystical power, he was definitely an invincible existence among the deity realm. The demon court was frightened, and their attacks were no longer as ferocious. The divine palace and Buddhist sect no longer dared to attack the demon court. Instead, the heavenly court heaved a sigh of relief. After all, the demon court had bitten them the most. For a time, the gazes of all the worlds fell on the netherworld. The person facing the calamity was in the netherworld. Inside the Khanate cave abode, Hanju opened his eyes with a painful expression. Visit Light Novel World. Calm. For the best novel reading experience he had already reached his limit, but it would still take him a few minutes to kill the Golden Crow Divine Emperor. What should he do? Too many things would happen in a few minutes. Perhaps the old monsters of the Golden Crow race would come to help. Forget it, forget it. I'll cultivate first and curse him occasionally to reduce his cultivation. Hanju thought silently, feeling helpless. Read at Wuxia World. EU. 10 years later. 10 years later, Hanju's cultivation ended again. He took out the Book of Misfortune and started to entertain the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor. This fellow still didn't leave the netherworld. From time to time, everyone from the hidden sect could hear the cries of the Golden Crows in the distance. It seemed that the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor had guessed that Hanju was hiding in the netherworld and wanted to capture him. Hanju cursed as he checked his emails regularly. Your grand disciple Feng Liang was attacked by demons. X106521. Your good friend Ji Xianxian was attacked by the immortal emperor of the netherworld and was severely injured. Your good friend Heavenly Emperor has awakened his Tao heart. His cultivation has increased greatly, and he has broken through the restriction. Your good friend Huang Jihao was attacked by an immortal god and was severely injured. Fortunately, your enemy Li Xianao saved him. Your disciple Tu Linger dreamed of traveling the primordial world and obtained the ancestral Magus' teachings. Your good friend Jiang Yi has reconstructed his body. His bloodline has transformed, and his cultivation has increased greatly. Because of your curse, your enemy Golden Rock Demon Lord has fallen to the Grand Unity Golden Immortal Realm. Your good friend Mo Zhu coincidentally obtained an ancient treasure. Hanju continued reading and felt that his circle of friends had been developing well recently. The Heavenly Emperor fought his way out. At least the Heavenly Court wouldn't collapse now. After Tu Linger obtained the ancestral Magus inheritance, her strength soared. What made him the happiest was that Golden Rock Demon Lord had been cursed to the point of losing his Emperor realm. It seemed that the immortal Emperor realm was not very stable. He wanted the Golden Crow Divine Emperor to suffer the same fate. A month later, Hanju walked out of the Khanate cave abode and came to the Fusang tree. Sun Chang'an, Su Qi, Tu Linger, Long Hao, the three-headed WRM king, the Black Hell Chicken, the chaotic Heavenly Dog, Li Yao, Morong Qi Chu Shuren, Zhou Mingyue, the Black Hell Demon Lord, Ada Xiao Air, the Gourd Brothers, and the other Black Hell Phoenixes were all cultivating. Ever since the arrival of the Black Hell Phoenixes, the Black Hell Chicken was not as noisy as before. It even became a little quiet. Perhaps there were internal conflicts in the Black Hell Phoenix clan. But Hanju couldn't be bothered unless the Black Hell Chicken took the initiative to look for him. Standing in front of the Fusang tree, Hanju used his divine sense to penetrate it. Ever since he had moved here, the Fusang tree had grown much faster. The main trunk had clearly become thicker and had grown many branches. Visit Light Novel World. Com for a better user experience. Hanju still remembered the introduction of the Fusang tree. The Heaven and Earth Divine Tree could increase the spirit chi of heaven and earth. It could attract the golden crows for 10,000 years and connect to other worlds in 1,000,000 years. However, the Fusang tree had attracted the golden crow in less than 1,000 years. Perhaps it wouldn't take that long to connect to other worlds. Not to mention that the Earth Immortal Gourd Vine had nurtured it, and its growth had been accelerating. Hanju looked forward to the Fusang tree connecting to other worlds. This way, if he encountered a powerful enemy that he couldn't defeat, he could escape at any time. Master, I want to return to the Heavenly Court. A voice came from the side. Hanju glanced over and saw that it was Long Hao. He had already grown up and looked very similar to the Heavenly Emperor, but he was far from bold. Hanju said, "It's very dangerous outside." Long Hao took a deep breath and said, "I've been summoned by my father. The Heavenly Court needs me." The Heavenly Emperor's summoning? Hanju was speechless. After all, Long Hao was the son of the Heavenly Emperor. He was only adopted here and had no right to force him to stay. "Do you really want to go back?" Hanju thought for a moment and asked again. Long Hao nodded and said seriously, "Yes, master." He was born to be a supreme being and dominate everything. He had been hiding and cultivating for a long time. Previously, he had not been summoned by the Heavenly Emperor, so he could only endure. He had always been looking forward to the Heavenly Emperor's approval. Hanju grabbed Long Hao's shoulder and brought him out of the netherworld into the void. Without waiting for him to speak, Hanju disappeared first. Long Hao hurriedly bowed and called out a few times, but Hanju didn't reply. You can find the rest of this content on the light novel world.com platform. For some reason, Long Hao felt inexplicably regretful. No, I can't be like a child. I can't let Master down. Long Hao clenched his fists and left. After returning to the Fusang tree, as soon as Hanju appeared, the disciples surrounded him. Master Hao left. Sect Master, did something happen to the heavenly court? Even the son of the heavenly emperor was issued an edict. It seems like there's no one left. Is there something wrong with Long Hao's brain? It's so dangerous outside. Ha ha ha, when he returns, we will definitely have surpassed him. The chaotic heavenly dog asked. Are you making a dig at me? Hanju had a headache from all the disciples, so he waved his hand and moved everyone away from him. He continued to observe the Fusang tree. The disciples of the hidden sect walked far away and continued discussing. After a long time, Hanju opened his eyes looking surprised. The Fusang tree seemed to have developed a hint of intelligence. This trace of intelligence was very weak and special. It was like a living thing flowing quickly in the tree to avoid Hanju. Unfortunately, it was still discovered by him. The Fusang tree was about to become a spirit? Hanju thought for a moment, and decided to let the Fusang tree's intelligence grow. Any divine item would give birth to its own intelligence, just like the ancient spiritual ginseng Sun Chang'an, and the heaven and earth grass Tao comprehension sword. Perhaps the Fusang tree could become an important battle force to protect the Cultivate diligently become immortal mountain in the future. The latest episodes are on the Light Novel World.com website. Hanju smiled and returned to the Khanate cave abode to continue cultivating. In the netherworld Xitigarbha Palace, Ji Xianxian's 4 limbs were tied up by 4 huge chains. His body was pulled into the air. Black lightning landed on his body crazily, destroying his physique. However, he didn't grunt in pain even as his skin and flesh were torn apart. He stared ahead. A fat monk was sitting on a lotus throne. The fat monk wore a kasaya and had a benevolent expression. He held a circle of Buddhist beads in his hand and muttered a mysterious Buddhist scripture. Strands of strange green smoke filled the palace. Sometimes they transformed into demons and ghosts, sometimes into gods and Buddhas. It was like a dream. Finally, Ji Xianxian couldn't help but say, "How long are you going to torture me? I've already said it. I'm not the one who will face the calamity. I've never thought of overturning the myriad worlds." He was really depressed. He had failed to snatch the divine weapon. Xitigarbha had originally let him go, but for some reason, he suddenly hunted him down and suppressed him again. Most importantly, Xitigarbha said he would harm the myriad worlds, so he wanted to suppress him. Xitigarbha said calmly, "The person meant to face the calamity will never think of himself as that person." Then, what makes you so sure that I am him? The divine palace, the demon court, the heavenly court, and the Buddhist sect all say that the person facing the calamity is in the netherworld, and has even comprehended a mystical power from time to time. Isn't that you? Is it wrong for me to comprehend a mystical power? Amipa. Ji Xianxian was furious. How unreasonable, this guy was not listening. Ji Xianxian gritted his teeth and asked, "What can I do to make you let me go?" Xitigarbha said, "Amipa, I'm willing to sacrifice myself for the common people and suppress you forever." You, Xitigarbha closed his eyes and continued reciting the scriptures. New chapters are published on Light Novel World.com. Ji Xian was so angry that he spat out blood. "Don't panic. I'll go ask for help." A voice sounded in Ji Xianxian's ears. Immediately after, a wisp of black smoke quickly flew out of his body. Sensing something, Xitigarbha suddenly opened his eyes and shouted in a low voice, "Devil race! Read at Wuxia World. EU." So you actually have the help of the devil race. You dare say you're not the one who will face the calamity? Xitigarbha shouted. He immediately struck out with his palm at Ji Xianxian. So you actually have the help of the devil race. You dare say you're not the one who will face the calamity? Xitigarbha shouted. He immediately struck out with his palm at Ji Xianxian. In an instant, countless black lightning transformed into sharp whips that lashed at him. This time, even Ji Xianxian's soul felt an indescribable pain. Ah! Ji Xianxian wailed in pain. His eyes were red as he looked at Xidagarba with hatred. If he could kill his way out in the future, he would definitely destroy this Xidagarba palace. Xidagarba's eyes were filled with worry. It was truly unfortunate for the heavenly Tao that such a vile devil had appeared. Time passed slowly. 20 years had passed since Long Hao left. After Hanju broke through to the rank 3 Immortal Emperor realm, his cultivation level had improved again. The time he used to kill the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor was also constantly decreasing. However, he was still far from insta-killing him. On this day, Hanju had just finished cursing the enemy when he took out the Heavenly Tao token and checked the Heavenly Tao tablet. He had thought that the reroll world's ranking would increase again, but he did not expect it to fall outside of the top 300. This was ridiculous. Wasn't the reroll world always becoming stronger? Hanju looked down carefully and discovered that the number of mortal worlds that originally numbered close to 10,000 had increased to 20,000. Why were there so many? Finding it strange, Hanju immediately took out the Heavenly Tao token to contact Di Tai Bai. Soon, Di Tai Bai established a divine sense connection with him. Didn't the Heavenly Court say that they wanted to give up the mortal worlds? Not only the Heavenly Court, but all the various powers in the immortal world, including the ancient races and hidden families, have all released their mortal worlds. Now all the mortal worlds are controlled by the Heavenly Tao of the immortal world. This ranking is no longer just the Heavenly Court's mortal worlds, but the rankings of the myriad worlds in the universe. Di Tai Bai replied helplessly. In other words, the mortal world guardian is no longer under the Heavenly Court's jurisdiction. You won't be protected by the providence of the Heavenly Court. If you're afraid of danger, you can abandon the reroll world and return to the Heavenly Court. I see. Hanju was enlightened. He didn't expect there to be so many mortal worlds. No wonder the Heavenly Court couldn't dominate the immortal world and only controlled half of the mortal worlds. Hanju didn't promise Di Tai Bai to go to the Heavenly Court. When he asked him where he was, he only said that he was hiding somewhere and didn't dare to come out. He had warned Long Hao not to spread the news of them being in the netherworld. With Long Hao's favorability towards him, he should not say it. Di Tai Bai clearly spoke more than before. He told Hanju much about the current situation of the Heavenly Court. The most up-to-date novels are published here, light novel world. There were internal and external troubles. The continuous losses caused the morale of the Heavenly Court to fall. With the arrival of the calamity, many immortals were like Hanju. They wanted to escape and return to their own sects, races, or even the sacred dynasties. They wanted to stay away from the calamity. Fortunately, the Heavenly Emperor was domineering and suppressed these inappropriate thoughts. It was worth mentioning that the 3 great generals had all returned. The demon court couldn't break through the 4 heavenly gates. He chatted with Di Tai Bai for a while before severing his divine sense connection. Hanju put down the Heavenly Tao token and fell into deep thought. Now, the reroll world completely belonged to him and had nothing to do with the Heavenly Court. This was a good thing. Previously, he had been worried that the Heavenly Court would join the calamity and the providence would affect the reroll world. No wonder the white-robed Buddha wanted to turn the reroll world into a second immortal world. Perhaps it was really possible. Hanju stood up and walked to the 9 heavens galaxy water. The Buzhou divine flower had already grown to the height of a small tree. It was taller than the surrounding resurrection lily. The Khanate chi it gave birth to was richer than before, but it was far from enough for him to cultivate. Hanju was debating if he should fuse the 9 heavens galaxy water with the Buzhou divine flower. At this point, the immortal chi of the 9 heavens galaxy water was nothing to Hanju. There was no point in keeping it. Just as he was thinking, a voice sounded in his mind. Master, bad news. A powerful enemy wants to seize the Sword Dao River. Liu Bei sounded extremely nervous. Hanju frowned after hearing that. Why was there a powerful enemy again? Why was nothing wrong when Zhang Guxing was presiding over it? Does the Heavenly Dao want to harm me again? The Sword Dao River. Liu Bei looked at a figure in the distance. It was the divine palace's Yu Tianbao. Yu Tianbao strolled around and looked at the Sword Dao River. TSK. No wonder Zhang Guxing is guarding this place. This place contains the rules of the Sword Dao and can increase one's comprehension of the Sword Dao, Yu Tianbao praised. He turned to look at Liu Bei and said, "Have you thought about it? Submit to me as your master. Otherwise you will die." You can find the rest of this content on the Light Novel World .com platform. Liu Bei gritted his teeth and said, "Let me think about it." "What's there to think about? Are you stalling for time? Don't worry, no one can save you. I've already captured the previous guardian of the Sword Dao River. You're a latecomer, and you don't have a powerful background." Liu Bei was silent and anxious. At this moment, a figure appeared beside Liu Bei. It was Han Ju. This time, he didn't come with his consciousness. Instead, he directly jumped into the Sword Dao River. With so many treasures on him, the other party would definitely not be able to hurt him. If it was only his soul or consciousness, he might be severely injured or even captured. Han Ju looked at Yu Tianbao. He couldn't see through the guy's cultivation, but it didn't give him a sense of danger. From the looks of it, his cultivation shouldn't be too different from the Black Hell Demon Lord's. Yu Tianbao frowned when he saw him. What a handsome man. Grand Unity True Immortal? No. This fellow was actually wearing an Emperor Dao treasure. Yu Tianbao asked cautiously, "Who are you?" Han Ju said indifferently, "Demon Court Lu Bu." "An immortal emperor of the Demon Court?" Yu Tianbao frowned even harder as killing intent surged in his heart. The Divine Palace and the Demon Court were mortal enemies. There was nothing to say. Fight! Yu Tianbao was about to attack when the Primordial Judgment Sword suddenly appeared in Han Ju's hand and slashed at him. "Bastard! You actually attacked first." Yu Tianbao cursed silently and immediately raised his hand to block. The terrifying dermic powers of an immortal emperor condensed into a huge barrier, causing the surrounding space of the Sword Dao River to twist violently. The most up-to-date novels are published here. Light Novel World. A terrifying sword chi collided with Yu Tianbao. With a boom, his dermic powers barrier instantly dissipated, and he was sent flying. The figures walking on the Sword Dao River vanished. The Sword Dao River surged violently, as if it would dissipate at any moment. Yu Tianbao stabilized himself and looked at Han Ju in shock. What sword chi was this? It looked ordinary, but it could actually injure his Emperor Dao soul. No. Run. Yu Tianbao vanished on the spot. Han Ju followed. Since he had encountered an enemy, how could he let him go? The sword chi just now was still on Yu Tianbao. Han Ju could track him. Yu Tianbao moved continuously, appearing and disappearing in the void. Damn it, how many immortal emperors is the Demon Court hiding? He gritted his teeth and cursed. Lu Bu. Great. I'll remember you. Yu Tianbao's heart was filled with killing intent. No wonder Zhang Guxing was fearless. He had long hooked up with the Demon Court. "Your Majesty, he's here." A pleasantly surprised voice sounded, startling Yu Tianbao so much that he subconsciously stopped. As soon as he did, his heart skipped a beat. Crap. Isn't that Lu Bu's voice? Visit Light Novel World. .com. For the best novel reading experience, how could the Demon Emperor appear here? Yu Tianbao almost instinctively took out a pagoda and entered it. Read at Wuxia World. EU. Han Ju appeared in front of Yu Tianbao's pagoda and immediately took out the God Slayer sword, the Heaven and Earth Primordial Sword, the 9 Elements 10,000 Life Sword, and the Primordial Judgment Sword. Then, he used the Immortal Slaying Sword formation to seal the pagoda, preventing Yu Tianbao from escaping. Han Ju appeared in front of Yu Tianbao's pagoda and immediately took out the God Slayer sword, the Heaven and Earth Primordial Sword, the 9 Elements 10,000 Life Sword, and the Primordial Judgment Sword. Then, he used the Immortal Slaying Sword formation to seal the pagoda, preventing Yu Tianbao from escaping. Yu Tianbao's voice came from the pagoda. "Lu Bu, do you really want to kill me? I'm the Divine Palace's Yu Tianbao, the acting palace master. If you kill me, the palace master will definitely not spare you." Han Ju said angrily. "Our Demon Court suppressed the Divine Palace, the Heavenly Court, and the Buddhist sect. How can we be afraid of the master of the divine palace? Are you serious? Yu Tianbao almost died of anger. Too arrogant. If not for the fact that he couldn't defeat the other party, he would definitely tear him into pieces and destroy his body and soul. Hanju remained silent. Yu Tianbao also fell silent. The atmosphere became strange. When the immortal slaying sword formation was completed, Hanju began to attack the pagoda without a word. Sword chi and sword formation techniques bombarded the pagoda, but it was indestructible. It was only shaken and did not shatter. Inside the pagoda, Yu Tianbao was casting a spell to seek help. Damn demon court! Yu Tianbao cursed anxiously. The immeasurable calamity had already begun. As the slaughter in the immortal world unfolded, the negative karma of the world increased and blinded the heavenly secrets, causing him to be unable to directly contact the master of the divine palace. What should he do? I can't panic. He can't break through my pagoda. Yu Tianbao's mood improved. Boom! The pagoda shattered, and the darkness in the void began to devour his vision. Yu Tianbao's eyes widened in horror. How is that possible? This is an Emperor Dao's supreme treasure. Hanju appeared and said disdainfully, so what if it's an Emperor Dao's supreme treasure? I used a deity realm mystical power. The most up-to-date novels are published here. Light Novel World. Calm Hanju waved his sleeve, and the immortal slaying sword formation continued to erupt. A terrifying sword chi wreaked havoc in the sword formation. Yu Tianbao didn't have time to say anything or beg for mercy, and could only defend passively. Unfortunately, he was only a rank 5 immortal emperor, and could not withstand it. In less than 2 breaths of time, Yu Tianbao's body and soul were destroyed. Before he died, he shouted venomously, Lu Bu, just you wait. I won't rest until I take revenge. Yu Tianbao has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 6 stars. This line of words appeared in front of Hanju. He frowned slightly. Could it be that this fellow had a soul fragment in the divine palace to protect himself? Humph. Do you think you can live in peace? Hanju smiled disdainfully and sheathed his sword, preparing to leave. Just as he turned around, he felt a terrifying aura lock onto him. Even as a rank 3 immortal emperor, Hanju couldn't help but shiver. Oh no! Could it be the master of the divine palace? Hanju immediately moved and disappeared. However, no matter where he ran, that terrifying aura was always locked onto him. At this moment, he could feel the shadow in Yu Tianbao's mind. Stop running. I won't kill you. A gentle voice sounded. Hanju immediately stopped. Since the other party had already said so, he could only listen to it to avoid provoking him. Hanju looked around cautiously. Then, a figure appeared in front of him. It was a man in a green robe with a sword at his waist. The green-robed man sized him up and asked teasingly, How do you know the heavenly sword Dao? Hanju was secretly shocked and didn't know how to answer. Visit Light Novel World. Com for a better reading experience, the Heavenly Emperor taught you? The green-robed man asked with a smile. Don't be nervous. I taught the heavenly sword Dao to the Heavenly Emperor. In the Heavenly Court, only Di Taibai has inherited it. However, his sword Dao is very weak. In addition, he had once sacrificed his sword Immortal Dao fruit for the Heavenly Court. It's impossible for him to teach the Heavenly Sword Dao to others. It can only be the Heavenly Emperor. Li Daokong has a favorable impression of you. Current favorability, 1 star. Hanju saw a notification appear in front of him, and hurriedly checked his interpersonal relationships. Li Daokong, cultivation unknown. Eldest disciple of the human school, immeasurable emperor. Perfect sword immortal, successor of the Dao ancestor. He has inherited all the orthodoxies of the 3 schools of the Dao sect. Because you have grasped the heavenly sword Dao, he is interested in you. Current favorability, 1 star. The eldest disciple of the human school? Hanju frowned. Wasn't that Li Xianeo's senior brother? Li Xianeo dug out the chaotic heavenly dog's eyes. Hanju always remembered to curse once every 10 years. The 2 successors of the human school would live and die together. Li Daokong would definitely stand on the same side as Li Xianeo. So Hanju wasn't misled by a 1-star favorability. He said, That's right. The Heavenly Emperor taught me. I guard the Sword Dao River. Just now, That person wanted to forcefully occupy it, and even wanted to kill me. He noticed that Li Daokong was a perfect sword immortal, and probably had special feelings for the sword Dao. Perhaps he could use this reason to resolve the possible conflicts. Li Daokong sized him up and smiled. Have you acknowledged the Heavenly Emperor as your master? Hanju shook his head. Then be my disciple, Li Daokong said with a burning gaze. Hanju was stunned. This change was too fast. Li Daokong smiled. If you acknowledge me as your master, you don't have to be afraid that the Divine Palace will find trouble with you. Hanju raised his eyebrows. So powerful? You're stronger than the Heavenly Emperor? You have greater authority and power? I don't dare to say that I'm invincible in the world, but I'm not afraid of anyone. As for power, although I don't have a domineering force like the Heavenly Court, I alone possess the greatest power. Li Daokong's tone was neither arrogant nor humble. These words sounded especially pretentious in Hanju's ears. However, when he thought of Li Daokong's background, the eldest disciple of the human school, immeasurable emperor, perfect sword immortal, visit light novel world. Com for a better user experience, the successor of the Dao ancestor. He had all the inheritances of the three schools of the Dao sect. Indeed, he looked even more impressive than the Heavenly Emperor. However, when he thought of how Li Daokong's junior brother had gouged out the chaotic Heavenly Dog's eyes, he still felt disgusted. Hanju asked cautiously, Am I not allowed to refuse? Li Daokong shook his head and laughed. I've never forced anyone other than my junior brother. If you refuse, then forget it. With that, he turned around and left. Hanju remained silent. After Li Daokong vanished, he heaved a sigh of relief. This person was very strong, but he didn't want to cause trouble. Hanju was about to leave when Li Daokong suddenly appeared in front of him and snorted. You're really not tempted, Hanju, Li Daokong said. The immeasurable calamity has already begun. If you acknowledge me as your master, I can protect you from it. How can you protect me? We'll talk about it after you acknowledge me as your master. No discussion? This is not a discussion. My identity is not simple. After you acknowledge me as your master, you will be pleasantly surprised. Hanju couldn't help but retort internally. I already know your identity. Li Daokong smiled as he cursed in his heart. This brat actually dares to reject me. However, for him to be able to master the immortal slaying sword formation, his potential in the sword Dao is truly rare. It would be a pity if he died in the calamity. It would be even more of a pity if the Divine Palace poached him. Li Daokong stared at him and continued. I can teach you a stronger sword Dao. It's a Dao attainment method even for the deity realm, and even Zenith Heaven. Hanju couldn't take it anymore. He asked, If I acknowledge you as my master, will I be assigned work? Li Daokong shook his head. Of course not. I just want to preach the Dao. Visit to Light Novel World. Come discover new novels. Hanju said. The Heavenly Emperor has treated me well. I have to ask him about this. He deliberately emphasized the words Heavenly Emperor. Read at Wuxia World. EU. Chapter 290. Heavenly Emperor vs. Li Daokong. Possession of the Immortal Emperor's Body. Chapter 290. Heavenly Emperor vs. Li Daokong. Possession of the Immortal Emperor's Body. I have a good relationship with the Heavenly Emperor. He won't stop me. Li Daokong smiled confidently. In the myriad worlds, who could refuse to become his disciple? Hanju remained silent. He was anxious. Why hadn't the Heavenly Emperor appeared yet? Didn't he escape? Li Daokong smiled. I obtained great providence in the last immeasurable calamity, and already have the experience to deal with it. As for the sword Dao, no one in the immortal world can compare to me. How arrogant. Hanju couldn't take it anymore. This person was too confident. Hanju felt like this was a powerful version of Ji Xianshan. At this moment a voice sounded. Li Daokong, you even dare to poach my talent? The Heavenly Emperor. Hanju was pleasantly surprised and relieved. A figure appeared in front of him. It was the Heavenly Emperor. The Heavenly Emperor stood in front of Hanju and smiled at Li Daokong. Li Daokong raised his eyebrows and instantly understood that Hanju had an extraordinary relationship with the Heavenly Emperor. Thinking of something, he asked with a smile, "Could he be the future of the heavenly court that your majesty mentioned?" The heavenly emperor nodded. Hanju had a strange expression. Did they really know each other? It seemed that they were close, and had even talked about him. Hanju also understood the implied meaning. The heavenly emperor really thought highly of him. Thinking about it carefully, every time he looked for the heavenly emperor, he was always there. Only once was he not there. That was when he was suppressed. He could look for the heavenly emperor when he was in trouble. The heavenly emperor never rejected him. On the contrary, he couldn't help the heavenly emperor resolve his problem. Hanju could only sigh in his heart. Emotions were always the greatest obstacle on the path of Tao attainment. If I attain the Tao in the future, I will definitely repay the heavenly emperor, Hanju thought silently. The heavenly emperor said, "This child is mine." This was a rejection on Hanju's behalf. Li Daokong smiled. "It's fine. Him becoming my disciple doesn't conflict with him being part of the heavenly court. Aren't there also many disciples of the Tao sect in the heavenly court? Doesn't His Majesty also want to pull me into the court?" The heavenly emperor fell silent. He turned to look at Hanju, who felt his heart skip a beat. Was the heavenly emperor? The heavenly emperor turned around and smiled. "When he really wants to acknowledge you as his master, I will personally send him to your door. This child has a cautious personality and is timid. Just joining the heavenly court had already scared him greatly. If he takes on the identity of the successor of the human school, I'm afraid he won't be able to cultivate in peace." Li Daokong looked at Hanju and shook his head. "If you think it through in the future, you can look for me." With that he left. Hanju heaved a sigh of relief. The heavenly emperor still had the upper hand. The heavenly emperor turned to look at him and smiled teasingly. "TSK, you actually rejected Li Daokong. This person will definitely become a zenith heaven in this calamity. It's not impossible for him to surpass me in the future." Hanju asked in surprise. "Isn't the immeasurable calamity extremely dangerous? Can anyone really survive it with certainty?" "Of course not. But with Li Daokong's potential, he's 90% confident." "Only 90%? Hanju was secretly shocked. As expected, he couldn't enter the calamity. 90% confidence meant that there was a possibility he might die. Li Daokong was so arrogant. If he followed him, he would definitely be beaten. Hanju asked, "Who's stronger between Li Daokong and Li Xianao?" "Of course it's Li Daokong. Li Daokong already has the strength equivalent to a zenith heaven cultivator. Li Xianao is only invincible in the deity realm." The heavenly emperor clearly respected Li Daokong. Hanju knew that this was bad. The chances of finding Li Xianao to avenge the chaotic heavenly dog were slim. Even if he cursed him, it was probably impossible. The heavenly emperor asked, "Are you staying in the netherworld now? Be careful. Recently, the immortal world has been spreading rumors that the person facing the calamity is there. He might slaughter his way out and ascend to the heavens step by step." Hanju was shocked after hearing this. He was in the netherworld. This was not good. Hanju said, "Thank you for your reminder, Your Majesty. I will be careful." Changing the topic, he asked, "How's Howard?" Long Hao had left for decades, and he had not received any news. There was also no news about him in the emails. The heavenly emperor smiled. "His potential is not bad, all thanks to your nurturing. Don't worry. He's my youngest son after all. How can I harm him?" Hanju nodded. The two of them did not stand on ceremony for long and quickly parted. Hanju returned to the Sword Dao River and found Liu Bei. "You're too weak. Come back with me," Hanju said seriously. He waved his sleeve and sucked him into his sleeve. Then, he jumped out of the Sword Dao River and headed to the netherworld. Immortal world, an immortal island in the seas. Huang Zuantian knelt on the beach, as if he was welcoming someone. A beam of light flew over from the horizon, turning into a white crane with a wingspan of 100 feet. As it flapped its wings, colorful lights rippled. The white crane stopped in front of Huang Zuantian and asked, "What do you have to say?" Huang Zuantian said in a low voice, "I discovered that the island master is colluding with the Chan school." The white crane narrowed his eyes. "Any evidence?" Huang Zuantian replied, "I discovered a keepsake in the island master's cave abode." As a disciple, how can you trespass the island master's cave abode? The white crane's tone immediately turned hostile, erupting with a terrifying aura. Huang Zuantian didn't panic at all. The Jie school once suffered a setback in the calamity. Now that the calamity has just begun, the island master has brought his disciples out to preach the Tao. It seems like he's working hard for the Jie school, but he's actually up to no good. I joined the Jie school because I want peace and quiet. The island master often preaches passionate words and wants to lead us into the calamity to fight, so I suspect him. Huang Zuantian had investigated. The Jie school had never really given the order to enter the calamity. It was just that some immortal islands wanted to contribute. The sect master of the Jie school had been in seclusion for countless years. He wasn't that strict with the control of the various immortal islands. This was also the reason why Huang Zuantian dared to take the risk. As for the evidence, the island master wouldn't leave it behind. What Huang Zuantian wanted to do was to plant psychological distrust in the minds of the mighty figures of the Jie school. The white crane narrowed its eyes and asked, "Do you think the Jie school should not fight for providence?" Huang Zuantian said, "It's not that we shouldn't. It's just that it's not time yet. The disciples should listen to the sect master, not listen to the various island masters, and let them do whatever they want." The white crane no longer spoke and fell silent. Huang Zuantian continued to kneel, waiting for a reply. The white crane suddenly opened its mouth and shot out a water arrow. It pierced through Huang Zuantian's head, and he fell back. Inside the Khanate cave abode, Tao Comprehension Sword looked at the victorious fighting Buddha, meditating in the corner in surprise. To be precise, it was Liu Bei. Hanju transferred the soul of the reincarnation avatar, Liu Bei, to the victorious fighting Buddha. Because the body of the victorious fighting Buddha was too powerful, Liu Bei could not control this immortal emperor body for the time being. Liu Bei was still suffering inside. Hanju was cultivating. When Liu Bei was about to collapse, he would use his dermic powers to nourish the avatar. "Are you still alright?" Tao Comprehension Sword couldn't help but ask. Liu Bei gritted his teeth and said, "I can barely do it. The body of an immortal emperor is indeed powerful. It's trying to devour me." He had been threatened many times in the Sword Tao River, so he had always yearned for power. Although it was painful this time, he was looking forward to it. A notification suddenly appeared in front of Hanju. "Heavenly Tao Buddha has developed hatred towards you. Current hatred points, 4 stars. A billion years of lifespan. A billion years of lifespan. What a huge scam." Hanju subconsciously wanted to choose no, but he still hesitated. Although he had a lifespan of 10 trillion years, and it was not a big deal to use a billion, he couldn't bear to do it. He was afraid that he would become addicted. The constant cursing was already consuming his lifespan. If he added another derivation function, would he expend himself to death in the future? However, spending 0.001% of his lifespan to understand the future development of the heavenly Tao was a great deal. If it was the heavenly emperor, he would be at ease. If it was an enemy, he could still prepare in advance. Just this once. Next time, I won't use the option if I need to spend another billion years of lifespan. Hanju thought silently and made the painful choice. In an instant, his consciousness began to spin. It was extremely uncomfortable. The derivation function wasn't as simple as telling the results. It also had to deduce what had not happened yet. After some time, Hanju suddenly woke up. He discovered that he was standing on a piece of land. The world was murky and the sun and moon were dark. Countless corpses were everywhere. Black blood formed rivers and lakes that covered the ground. Dead silence. Desolation. Hanju turned around and looked in all directions, his eyes filled with despair. Was this the world after the immeasurable calamity ended? Hanju finally realized how terrifying the immeasurable calamity was. Hanju suddenly frowned and followed his gaze. At the end of the ground stood a majestic figure that was like a mountain. The arms of this figure were chopped off, and his hair was disheveled. He had a sinister expression, and his eyes were lifeless. Only his body was left, and his soul had long been destroyed. Visit Light Novel World. Com. For the best novel_reading experience, The Heavenly Emperor. Hanju was thunderstruck. The Heavenly Emperor had died? Crap, the Heavenly Emperor wasn't the winner. Then who won? At this moment, a golden light broke through the sea of clouds and illuminated the world, expelling the darkness between heaven and earth. Amitabha. A loud voice sounded as a huge golden Buddha, as majestic as Bujo Divine Mountain, descended from the sky. I'm the Heavenly Tao Buddha. I'll bring the Buddhist sect to flatten the calamity and expel the negative karma of the world. We'll welcome light and hope for all living beings. Hanju showed a frown. The Buddhist sect had won? It was the Heavenly Tao Buddha. Hanju couldn't forget that the Heavenly Tao Buddha had a 4-star hatred towards him. Crap. The enemy really won. Hanju had killed the victorious fighting Buddha and stolen the white-robed Buddha. This grudge was almost impossible to resolve. This wasn't a good thing. Just as Hanju was about to become depressed, he suddenly saw the golden light on the Heavenly Tao Buddha's body fade away, and he gradually turned into a black Buddha. The surface of his body reflected a metallic luster. The solemn and sacred Heavenly Tao Buddha had become sinister and terrifying. His expressionless face turned sinister as he revealed a terrifying smile. A pair of black wings spread out from his back, covering the sky. The world fell into darkness again. However, light and hope are short-lived. The true darkness has just begun. The Heavenly Tao Buddha's voice sounded again, filled with madness. Boom! Everything in front of Hanju shattered like a mirror. He woke up and his consciousness returned to reality. He gasped, his forehead covered in a cold sweat. Master, what's wrong? Tao Comprehension Sword asked in concern. Visit Light Novel World. Calm for a better_reading experience. Hanju came back to his senses and said, Nothing. Go out first. Tao Comprehension Sword was stunned. She hesitated for a moment before leaving. When only Hanju was left in the Khanate cave abode, did he take out the Book of Misfortune and poured his dharmic powers into it. In an instant, the book emitted a black light that shone on his face. Damn it! It was really the enemy who had the last laugh. Hanju almost exploded. No. He wanted to change the heavenly fate. Heavenly Tao Buddha, for the sake of all living beings, I will change your fate. Hanju gritted his teeth and thought of the scene he saw just now. His heart was filled with fear. He knew the true identity of the Heavenly Tao Buddha. This fellow was actually transformed from one of the devil ancestors' corpses. This traitor was planted by the devil race in the Buddhist sect. Hanju began to curse the Heavenly Tao Buddha. From now on, the other enemies would be cursed for 5 days, but the Heavenly Tao Buddha would be cursed for 10 days. He wasn't doing this for himself, but for all the living beings in the world. At this moment, Hanju felt like the light of justice was glowing on his body. He couldn't let the Heavenly Tao Buddha succeed. West Heaven Thunderclap Monastery. The Heavenly Tao Buddha, who was cultivating, opened his eyes and frowned. Again. Dark Forbidden Lord, what are you doing? The Heavenly Tao Buddha thought unhappily. The appearance of the Dark Forbidden Lord made him very uneasy. His original plan was to target the Demon Court, the Divine Palace, and the Heavenly Court to kill each other. But everything had changed now that there was a Dark Forbidden Lord. Many mighty figures believed that the Dark Forbidden Lord was related to the devil race. But he knew very well that it was completely unrelated. There was actually a mysterious and ambitious force hidden in the heavens. Heavenly Tao Buddha sighed, feeling that his understanding of the myriad worlds was still too shallow. Try the Light Novel World. Calm platform _ for the most advanced _reading experience. That made sense. Ever since the ancient Zenith Heaven existences retired, the appearance of the Dark Forbidden Zone and the Chaotic Forbidden Zone had long made the Heavenly Tao more and more mysterious. No, I can't just sit here and wait for death. The Heavenly Tao Buddha suddenly left. On Hidden Sect Island, all the disciples gathered under the Fusang tree, including the Black Hell Phoenix clan, Fairy Shixian, and Chongyuer. They were all waiting for Hanju's arrival. They whispered to each other, curious why he summoned them. Hanju finally came out of the cave abode. Seeing him come out, everyone quietened down. Hanju walked in front of everyone and said expressionlessly, The hidden sect has always followed the philosophy of keeping a low profile. But now that the immeasurable calamity is coming, cultivation alone is unable to increase one's strength. Everyone was shocked. Hanju wanted to chase them out to train. The chaotic heavenly dog trembled in fear. Ever since its eyes were dug out by Li Xianao, it had been filled with fear. The black hell chicken was also afraid. It had never gone out. Li Yao frowned. They couldn't continue cultivating here anymore? I'll create a special space where your consciousness can enter and simulate a battle. In the simulation battle, you will not be affected no matter how many times you die. You can choose to fight each other, or all the opponents I have encountered thus far. Hanju continued to introduce. The simulation trial mainly focused on him. The others could only enjoy the use, but couldn't choose the opponents they had faced before. Everyone was curious. Hanju immediately chose them to enter the simulation trial. As long as you're on the island, you can enter at any time. Hanju left after saying this. Morongqi muttered, simulation trial? How? As soon as he finished speaking, he fell into a daze. The most up-to-date novels are published _here light novel world. The others were the same. When they wanted to enter the simulation trial, their consciousness directly entered. 5 minutes later, most people had already entered the simulation trial. Zhou Mingyue said excitedly, Grandmaster is so powerful. This mystical power is too powerful. It can greatly increase our combat ability, and can also cultivate mystical powers in battle. The Black Hell Demon Lord said gloomily, why is the Great Freedom Golden Crow Divine Emperor so strong? He was being beaten up. Grandmaster actually fought the Heavenly Emperor before, and can even simulate his strength. How strong is he? Morongqi exclaimed. After the simulation trial, everyone was even more respectful towards Hanju. They thought that all the opponents in the simulation trial were defeated by Hanju, including the Heavenly Emperor. Read at Wuxia World. That you're tuning in to the Limei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.